our base from 3 o'clock is the Community Shield, Manchester United against Manchester City, but you won't miss a putt, a dive, a trunk kick, a goal or a try as they all go in. Good luck, John Murray.
Thank you, Mark. And you might be hitting the wall in Paris, but over here in London, with Dion Dublin sitting next to me, we are all fresh and ready to go for the start of the 2024 Community Shield, with Manchester United getting us underway in the red shirts, black shorts and black socks, and Manchester City in their first choice colours, the sky blue shirts, white shorts and white socks. And if you haven't heard, strong teams from both managers. Eric Ten Hag down there in his suit, whereas Pep Guardiola has gone all summertime with his white t-shirt and black tracksuit bottoms. Manchester United, Onana in goal, Dalot, Maguire, Evans and Martinez is at left back. Then Casemiro, Menu and Mount, Diallo, Rashford and Bruno Fernandes playing as the man furthest forward. And Manchester City with Ederson in goal, Lewis, Akanji, Diaz and Guardiola, Kovacic with McAtee and young O'Reilly, the teenager, then Bob, Doku and Erling Haaland. What are you thinking, Dion?
Well, I'm hoping it carries on as it started. It's only been a minute or so, but I do like the physical battle in the middle of the park. There's been a couple of free kicks already and they're not holding back at all early on.
And the other thing to say is, this is an all-Manchester Wembley match once again. It is remarkable for what is the third match here in 15 months, and it is the Community Shield. I mean, the place is virtually full. Not
a spare seat in the house. Not a spare seat at all. To our left, you've got all the red, and to our right, you've got the sky blue. Every seat taken. What a start of the season. What a curtain raiser, John.
What a curtain raiser indeed. We are just underway. We're in the second minute. It is Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0, and most of the commentary to come, Mark. It will be. The commentary. In fact, let's continue, Dion.
Why not?
With the commentary.
There's a game on.
Here is Menu, who's in possession inside his own half. Menu carrying it towards the halfway line. I think that's one of the interesting choices for the managers today, Eric Ten Hag. While Manchester City have left out, and indeed they aren't even back in training, the players who went the distance with England and Rodri as well with Spain. Kobbie Mainoo played all the way through, certainly in the knockout stages for England. Here he is starting this match, having been the man, remember, who scored what turned out to be the clinching goal in the FA Cup final.
Yeah, and you know what he's done as well? I think he's just showed a little bit of confidence for the young man as well. He takes the ball in really difficult situations, Kobbie, and he doesn't mind taking a risk as well, and I think he wants that in his midfield, Mr. Ten Hag. You'll get it from Kobbie Mainoo all season.
We are mixing and matching with the Olympics, and we will back to the taekwondo in a moment, but it is Manchester United in possession inside their own half. So it is Evans and Maguire in central defence, and it's Maguire who just turns and plays it back to Onana. Maguire, who was desperately disappointed that he was unable to make the England squad for the tournament, and I think was sorely missed actually by England in many ways, as Lisandro Martinez plays it forward now. Cheers as he puts in the challenge. Manchester United supporters delighted to see him back involved, even though he did come back at the end of the season, and the offside flag is up against Bruno Fernandes through the middle, so a free kick to Manchester City. But such an important player for Ten Hag, Manchester United, Martinez, having been able to play in only 14 matches last season.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just his aggression, and he just loves to defend. He likes the physical contact. He's not a very big bloke at all, but he likes that side of it. Man United don't have any players of that ilk. They've got good footballers, good, strong, tall defenders, but he's a horrible player to play against as a centre forward.
Right, as promised, the taekwondo is developing in Paris, as I mentioned. Let's go back to Katie.
Rebecca McGowan of Scotland, of Dumbarton, is on the mat. We've had 30 seconds of the first round up against a very tough opponent, Svetlana Osipova of Uzbekistan, and she leads. Kick to the head. She's 3-0 up on the Brit.
Thank you very much. Manchester City with the ball inside their own half. Ball played to Doku on the left-hand side. Doku, there's no Grealish. If you weren't listening earlier, Jack Grealish has got a minor problem, so he's not able to be involved. Felt such a big season now for Grealish after the events of last season. I suppose the same applies to Rashford on the other side.
Yeah, and I just think they need games, play them. If you really want to get them into your side and to be effective, give them game time.
We are following the taekwondo, but we're also following the diving with you, Jonathan Overend.
Yes, and this is turning into an absolutely gripping men's 10-metre platform final, because Noah Williams for Great Britain is going to be in 4th position going into the final round of dives. And it's all been happening here in the last few minutes, because the man in gold medal position, Rikuto Tamai, has performed a really poor penultimate dive, 3.5s and 4s out of 10 from the judges, and he was absolutely furious with himself when he left the pool. So he is within touching distance suddenly for Williams. So is the Mexican Wilars Valdez. So after 5 dives, it is China in Chao Yan who is by far and away leading the competition. He will win gold almost certainly. But then it's 2 medals from 3, I would say. Vilars Valdez for Mexico is currently in the silver medal position. Tamai of Japan is in the bronze medal position. And then it's Noah Williams. Williams has a total of 403 points. The Japanese is only 5 points ahead of him, and the Mexican is only 13 points ahead of him. Now, those are deficits in diving that can most certainly be retrieved, because one error, we saw it with the Japanese teenager just then, can really make the difference, and they can slide down the leaderboard. And for Timai, the Japanese, he's gone from gold medal position a couple of rounds ago to now clinging on in 3rd, with Williams chasing him down. Now, Williams is the first diver to go in this final round of competition. So we'll see this dive, and then it'll be back to Wembley. Williams for Great Britain, silver in the synchro event alongside Tom Daly in the opening week. If he can dive as well as he did in the last round, when he scored 93.6, he could be on for a medal from almost nowhere. He was the weakest of the qualifiers for this final. Here he comes, skipping up to the edge of the 10-metre platform. Forward, 4.5 somersault rotation. What a dive from Williams! Wow! And he has recovered from a massive setback midway through this competition to pull out his 2 best dives right at the end. We wait for the scores, and he will then have a very long wait to see how his rivals get on, because he's diving first in this last round. That, to me, looked like it could match, if not better, his penultimate dive. He scored a total of 93.6 with a 9 and some 8.5s in there in the last round. Could that be the dive that somehow wins Noah Williams a 2nd medal of the Games? Oh, big roars around the arena. 9s and 8.5s for Noah Williams, and a total of 94.35. It is his best dive of the competition. He's saved the best till last, and that could be enough. But we now have to wait, John, because everybody else is still to go.
Yes, we will be back with you, Jonathan, as soon as you have anything of importance to report. It is Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0 in the Community Shield here at Wembley Stadium in the warmth of northwest London. And let's get back to the taekwondo with Katie Smith.
Where round 1 is complete, and Rebecca McGowan lost it 14 points to 6. It was furious. There was a lot of aggression in there. She's up against the world number 6, Svetlana Osipova, who's also a world champion from 2 years ago at a higher weight category. This is the heavyweight women's. We're looking for a place in the semi-final, and it was the counter-attack that she was really utilising.
Yeah, she was Osipova in that first round was absolutely lethal. She was fast, she was sharp. She's scored a twisting back kick, a 5-pointer. This has been a relentless match.
And she scored already within 30 seconds of this 2nd round, which is must win for Rebecca McGowan on her Olympic debut. So she trails by 3. That kick to the head is one of the highest scoring moves. The highest you could get is 5 for a spinning kick to the head. The lowest is a punch to the body. That is 1. And what Rebecca McGowan needs now is a response, because she's now 6-0 down. That is another kick to the head. A punch, though, for the Brit. The deficit is 5.
And she's not trying to win it cagily. She's not trying to win it smart. She's trying to win it the only way she knows how, an old-fashioned style slugfest, by pushing, if she can, Osipova back and letting her legs go, letting her fists go.
McGowan is such a furious competitor. She actually trains more and more with men now, she says, to try and give her that lethal edge. It's not enough at the moment. There was a penalty there for the Uzbek, so the gap now is 4 points, and there is 1 minute on the clock. And for once, the pace has just slow, but that was a kick to the body from the woman in blue, from Osipova. So now she leads by 8 points to 2.
Osipova is fast, she's accurate, and what's more, she just seems to be getting that bit closer, and she's that much quicker at the moment than Rebecca.
Her right foot coming out almost like a viper on the attack, looking for its prey. And now they're grappling with each other, almost like boxers in the ring. So the referee has to pull them apart. 40 seconds.
This has been a very, very physical fight so far, Katie. Lots of grappling, lots of pushing, and lots of action.
So 35 seconds. Once again, the crowd just hushes. That is another penalty to the Uzbek, and a kick to the head. It's another brilliant one. 11-2 she leads. Now that noise you hear in the background means there is a challenge being put in by Osipova's corner. Her coach has gone over to the referee. He hands him a blue card. She's wearing blue today, and the referee, in the ritual of Taekwondo, stands in the centre and presents it. So they are looking at whether this head kick, I think, they're either looking for whether there's extra value, is there a spin there, or has there been a head kick missed that they once scored as well. So that one was given 3 points. We're looking at a big screen monitor, the hush in the Grand Palais, all 8,000 people holding their breath.
Been given.
And that has been given. That is another 3 points. This is massive now, as the card is given back to the coach. So that means they can challenge again. And in fact, that is too big. The deficit is too huge for Rebecca McGowan, because it's 12 points. It means her Olympics now is over. Rebecca McGowan, a two-time world medalist, is out here in Paris in 2024. She was the third seed, beaten by Svetlana Osipova.
Speed, power, determination and tactics. It looked to me like Rebecca had no idea what hit her from the very first second of the very first round until the outclass rule came in. At that point, that juncture in the second, that was quality from Osipova. Let's get that right. We applaud both.
So, John, the journey for gold over then for Rebecca McGowan. She now has this strange, ironic twist of fate, where if her fate is connected to her conqueror there. If Osipova makes the final, she will go into the repechage and perhaps be able to compete for bronze. We still have Caden Cunningham, though, in the men's semi-finals to come in the next hour.
Yes, we'll be back with you for all of that with Great Britain's Caden Cunningham. Back here at Wembley, Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. Dion, Dublin, Manchester City in charge. They've forced a couple of corners, 3 corners actually, but United have been able to defend them. And also a moment when Jeremy Doku had a first chance to run at Diogo Dalot, brilliantly defended by the Manchester United right back, as McAtee crosses now from the right, but Manchester United cheers as he's put too much on that and it's bounced through for a goal kick.
Yeah, I just think Man United have caused their own problems. I really do. I don't understand that when they get a goal kick, why is the first pass to the goalkeeper? Get the ball out, get yourself up the pitch, try and play some of the game in the middle of the park. You're camped in at the moment, Man United.
And back to the diving hall, Jonathan Overend.
So Noah Williams still leads in the clubhouse, as it were, John. He is heading the leaderboard, and now we're about to see one of, by my reckoning, 2 rivals that he's got for an Olympic medal. A reminder, Williams just scraped into this final, 12th out of 12 from the semi-finals. He's performed brilliantly, and he's saved his 2 best dives for last. But now we have Randall Villars-Valdez, who is about 81 points behind Noah Williams. This is the best of the Mexicans, but he's attempting a really hard dive. It's a forward 4.5 somersault dive, but in the pike position rather than the tuck position. So this is a huge, huge moment. Will the Mexican go above Noah Williams? We'll know in the next few seconds. I don't think that is going to be enough. There's a look of absolute shock on the face of Noah Williams, because Williams knows his dives, and he knows that maybe that was a challenge too great for the Mexican. A 4.1 degree difficulty dive. Now, clearly there is a little more margin for error on the higher difficulty dives, but will it be enough? We wait for the score. And will Williams be ahead of Villars-Valdez? It will mean that only the Japanese can get above him. No, 7.5s. No, 5s, in fact. 5s for Villars-Valdez. 5 out of 10. And he is behind Noah Williams. Well, what a turn-up. And will that be enough for Williams? You've got the Japanese still to come and the Chinese, but I think that's going to get Noah Williams a medal, a bronze medal. not confirmed yet, and every chance it could still be a silver if the Japanese performs as poorly as he did in the second round. So we'll keep you posted, John, but this is brilliant from Noah Williams.
Very good. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. And if I hope you've been able to enjoy our Olympic coverage over the course of the past couple of weeks. It's been tremendous, I have to say, on 5 Live. And remember, you can always listen back to it if you're going to be missing it next week, rewinding it, listening again on BBC Sounds. But it is 0-0 in the Community Shield, the All Manchester Community Shield. They are underway as well in League 2, in the opening round of matches in League 2, the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Still Rangers 0, Motherwell 0, Ross County 0, Dundee United 0. And early goals in League 2, MK Dons 0, Bradford City 2, Wimbledon 1, Colchester 2, and Gillingham 1, Carlisle 0. With Manchester City and Ederson, who lazily hits a left-footed pass out to Rico Lewis, who did well actually to keep that in play on the far side. But Manchester United playing from left to right in the first half, with Wembley Stadium divided almost right down the middle. The Manchester United fans to our left and the Manchester City fans to the right. So Manchester United attacking towards the end where the Manchester City fans are. Here's Johnny Evans in possession. Johnny Evans still going with Manchester United at the age of 36. Harry Maguire just knocking the ball to his central defensive partner, and back it goes to Onana. And there has now been a goal at Hampden. Here is Gavin Wallace.
Yes, John, 15 minutes on the clock. Cyril Dessers opens his account for the season. A great ball by Ridvan Yilmaz, headed back across by Diomande, and the forward was there to tap home. Rangers 1, Motherwell 0.
So Rangers off and running in the Premiership after their frustrating draw to start things off last weekend, as Diego Dallo fouls Doku on the halfway line free kick. Manchester City, Dion Dublin.
Yeah, they've taken charge of the ball, City, as they normally do, keeping it, moving it around, had a couple of half chances, not quite the right pass at the right time, not quite on the same page at in the final third at the moment, City, but lion's share of the possession. Man United just do what they're doing, being resolute, good shape.
I think it's an interesting one, isn't it? And Manchester City, Pep Guardiola played it this way pre-season. As Doku takes on, nutmegs Dallo, goes past him down the left-hand side, into the full-back position. Maguire looks to close him down. Doku goes past him, left-footed cross, and that's beyond everyone in a blue shirt inside the penalty area. And Manchester United can get it away. Genuinely thrilling from Jeremy Doku. But it came to nothing. 0-0. And back to the diving. Jonathan.
Right, it is the 17-year-old Japanese Rikuto Tamai next from Japan. Now, Noah Williams is leading the way out of the divers we've seen. There are 3 divers to go, but one of them is nowhere near the medals, and that's Yang Hao of China. So by my reckoning, Williams is going to win at least a bronze medal here. But could it be even better? The Japanese is 81 points behind. So needs a good dive, and the Japanese shell-shocked by his last dive, which took him from the medals out of the medals, and that's what can happen in diving. Just one mistake, one poor dive out of the 6 can be so costly. But Noah Williams is proudly standing by the edge of the pool, the 24-year-old from Hackney in London, currently in gold medal position. 3 divers to go. The context to that is that the final Chinese, the final diver to go, is well clear and really just has to avoid an absolute catastrophe to win the gold. However, you never know. But this is key. This is the Japanese. Can he go above Williams? Here's his final dive. He's recovered well. He's recovered well after that poor penultimate dive. And the Japanese coaches are celebrating at poolside. And that will probably be enough to take Tamai above Noah Williams back into the gold medal position as things stand. We'll wait for confirmation as the scores come up. But only 2 divers now remain in the competition, and one of them cannot go above Noah Williams. So it will be another medal for Great Britain, which is an astonishing achievement, considering that Williams only just got into this final. He was 12th out of 12. 9s across the board for Timai of Japan, who got himself together in that final dive to finish 10 points ahead of Noah Williams, and it's Timai currently in gold medal position. The one Chinese who can't win it to come, and then the one who probably will to round off the competition.
Thank you, Jonathan. So Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0, with almost 20 minutes played. Still, neither goalkeeper, neither Andre Onana or Ederson, have been tested here, but Manchester City are in control of the match, and they are sweeping forward again with McAtee on the left-hand side. James McAtee, last 2 seasons at Sheffield United. Here is Doku, who has since been crunched by Diogo Dalot after he nutmegged him and beat him on the left wing. Now Rico Lewis on the right-hand side. Lewis, who perhaps a little unfortunate not to get into the England squad for the Euros. Then O'Reilly, who's making his first appearance in a senior competitive game for Manchester City. Nico O'Reilly and Manchester City go back to the halfway line. So let's get back to Hampden and Gavin Wallace.
Not a good start then for the new signing, Robin Prosper. He's tapped home a Steven Seddon cross beyond Jack Butler. He got things all wrong. Motherwell back in it. Rangers 1, Motherwell 1.
Haaland at the back post for Manchester City, but on the twist, on the turn, he was actually searching for that ball at the back post after a darting run into the penalty area from Rico Lewis. Set that up, but wasn't able to get his shot on target, and Manchester United cleared it. Back to the diving, Jonathan.
So it's the last diver who is currently in the gold medal position, Chao Huan, who just needs to score. What does he need to score? He needs... Oh, it's not good for masses. Who got me to do the diving? 45 points. He just basically needs to go off the board and land with his arms into the pool. But this is the thing. Any slip, should he leave the board at the wrong angle or just trip himself up? Who knows what? Steve Parry was talking about the fairy liquid earlier in the competition. Noah Williams is in silver at the moment. This will in all probability push him down to bronze, but the competition will be over after this one, and we can confirm the standings. Here comes Chao Yan, who finishes the competition in style for China. He will win the gold, but as the competition ends, it will be another medal for Team GB. Noah Williams has won bronze. And what a fabulous achievement. He has emulated Tom Daley from London and from Tokyo, and he has won a medal, his second medal of the Games, remember, because he won one alongside Daley in the first week in the synchro competition. That was a silver, but it will be China from Japan in silver from Noah Williams. What an achievement, considering he was 12th, John, qualifying for the final, but he's finished it third, about to be presented with a bronze medal. Brilliant.
I think he's been one of many characters of the games for Great Britain and Northern Ireland. And Manchester City here, it's 0-0. Moved through the middle with O'Reilly's pass, but it runs all the way through to Onana, who's able to pick it up. And Dion, while we were listening to Jonathan there, Manchester City getting closer, a shot from Oscar Bob, right side of the penalty area, with his left foot, but high over the bar.
Yeah, I think Bob and Lewis looking really good at the moment, lively, wanting to take players on. City, like I said before, just not getting that last pass right. They're getting into good areas. I mean, neither goalkeeper's diving about, but Man United need to be a little bit quicker with their passing. They're holding the ball too much, and they're getting closed down, losing the ball. Need to be quicker. And
Pep Guardiola was very supportive and very happy with the move that led to that last chance for Bob down the right.
Yeah, started the applause. He looked over at his fans. He's clapping his hands over his head as if to say, come on, give the boys some support.
Martinez at left back has had his clearance charged down by Bob, but is able to recover and give it back to Onana inside the Manchester United penalty area. But then Martinez has given it away again. McAtee's inside the box with a curling shot that hits the post and comes out. Oh, he's unlucky there. McAtee, excellent work from Bob to set him up, and McAtee on his left foot curled it, but not quite enough, hit the post and came out.
Yeah, it was the correct finish, just a loose ball in that left back position for Man United. He got onto it quickly, tried to curl it. I think Onana did really well with his angles, but he was all ends beaten, hit the post, came out lucky.
Yeah, lucky Manchester United. It remains 0-0. Also in League Two, it's now Fleetwood 1, Grimsby 0. Fleetwood, who were relegated last season, but winning 1-0 against Grimsby Town, and it's now MK Dons 1, Bradford City 2. Ball over the top for Doku to chase into the penalty area. He's away from Dalot. Maguire with a challenge and blocks the shot. And Dalot was beaten, but Maguire wasn't.
No, Gvardiol down this left-hand side in that left-back position. Gvardiol's had the ball possibly 4 or 5 times in this first half, and every single time Doku has gone to go long and then he's come to feet. The 5th time of doing it, and just a couple of seconds ago he goes feet and then he goes long. and Dalot takes the dummy and he's in behind. So Dalot's not sure what to do now. Does he stick? Does he twist? Doku's on fire at the moment.
Yeah, real danger man. Well, he was for Belgium, wasn't he? In the Euros, despite their disappointing early exit. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. And more news from Hampden from Gavin Wallace.
Oh, John, what a goal on the 24th minute. Rangers 2, Motherwell 1. New signing, well, he's on loan from Wilkes by Vaclav Cherny. Took the ball just on the right hand side. He cut into his left and unleashed a rasper. It goes in off the side of the net and beyond Roxburgh. Rangers 2, Motherwell 1.
Thank you very much, Gavin. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0 as the ball just bounces through for a goal kick for Manchester United. I mentioned the fact that the League 2 matches are underway, 3 o'clock kickoffs for them. The League 1 matches kicking off at 5:30, in case you hadn't clocked that. Things are quite different in the Football League because of the new TV deals. More goals as well. Barrow 1, Crewe 0, Walsall 1, Morecambe 0, and Cheltenham 1, Newport 0. And the first day of League 2 means a first match in the Football League for Bromley, who are starting out at Harrogate Town after Bromley's promotion last season, and Adam Cottier is watching them.
And they are 25 minutes into their Football League debut, Bromley, and they've expressed themselves pretty well so far. They've had a shot from Corey Whiteley, cleared off the line by Harrogate's Levi Sutton, and they've also created numerous other openings, but they've just lost midfielder Josh Pastley to injury. It's Harrogate Town 0, Bromley 0.
Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. As United send a long pass forward from the left-hand side from Rashford, first-time touch from Bruno Fernandes. Amad Diallo's chasing this, but Guardiola gets there first, and Ederson long downfield into the centre circle and back to Manchester United. So 0-0 it is, but back to the Olympics, and Ian Carter is following the golf.
What looked like a procession to gold for Lydia Ko is now suddenly uncomfortably interesting for the New Zealander. A double bogey at the 13th dropped her back to 9 under par. She was leading by 5 at that stage, and up ahead at the 17th, the German Esther Henseleit with a birdie there to move to 7 under. So the lead down to 2 shots.
Following the Olympics, following the Super League as well, Leeds Wigan, Sharon Shortle.
And it's Leeds Rhinos that have drawn first blood in this one. Harry Newman getting the try after a great break from Reece Martin, bringing in Lockie Miller, who had Newman in support to touchdown. Martin added the goal, a little against the run of play. Wigan have certainly had the better chances so far. At Headingley, it's Leeds Rhinos 6, Wigan Warriors 0.
Manchester United trying to find a foothold in the Community Shield, but Kovacic, who's playing in the Rodri role today, is able to play the ball back to Ederson, and then Ederson actually overhits the pass over the top of Vardiol, who nevertheless applauds his intention, even though it's drifted straight out for a throw into Manchester United.
Yeah, City have been in control of this game so far. United, like I've said, just a little bit too slow moving the ball forward. They've got to get it wide to Rashford and Diallo. Give them the ball. They look excited. They want the ball. They're in really good positions, but because they're taking so long, they're getting marked.
Here's Amad Diallo, though, who's been playing pre-season for Manchester United. Garnacho's only on the bench. Remember, he scored the opening goal in the FA Cup final and was a real fixture in the team at the end of last season. But it breaks down, although O'Reilly is dispossessed. And now Bruno Fernandes is able to carry the ball forward. Bruno Fernandes, but at no great pace, uses Rashford on the left-hand side. Rashford infield now to Casemiro, square from him to Diogo Dalot. That's already been an excellent contest, Dalot against Doku, but Dalot with a forward pass. Here's Diallo, lovely footwork into the area, left foot clip, but he curled it low, well wide of the far post.
Yeah, but that's what you need to do, get it to your wide players. They're the ones that are going to be positive. He's one-on-one with Guardiola, goes outside, then he comes inside on his left foot, and he just tries to curl it pretty much like McAtee did about 5-10 minutes ago, just didn't get it right. However, much more positive from Manchester United.
Yeah, and just to mention that midfield for Manchester City, which they did play pre-season, Kovacic in the middle, and Nico O'Reilly on the right-hand side, who I've mentioned, the number 75, the 19-year-old Mancunian, his senior competitive debut. He is tall, curly black hair, stacked up on the top of his head. He's caught the eye.
I like him. He's very brave. Very brave on the ball. He's allowing contact. He likes players close by him. He's backing his strength and he's holding it up well and he's keeping the ball. Yeah,
he's playing to the right of Kovacic. He's actually scored against Barcelona pre-season in the match that they had in Orlando. And on the left-hand side, it's James McAtee, who's back and involved with Manchester City after those 2 seasons on loan with Sheffield United. And I think he wins the award today for the footballer who looks most like he's been on his summer holidays.
Yes.
It's the archetypal look, isn't it?
There
at
it
the
is.
Start of the season.
He's got a glow, hasn't he?
Socks are down. There's a glow about the legs. His fair hair has been lightened by the sun from somewhere glamorous, no doubt. Or maybe it was the Lake District, who knows. Here's Rico Lewis on the right-hand side. Rico Lewis plays it forward towards the halfway line. Oscar Bob is there, back to Lewis, who goes back into his own half. There's a feeling, even though there are many familiar faces for Manchester United in terms of the business that has been done, and of course young Lenny Yoro is injured, Hoyland's injured, and Zirkzee is among the substitutes today, the Dutch international, the summer arrival. I suspect we'll see him later. But there's a very different feel about Manchester United because Erik ten Hag has changed his coaching staff. So Ruud van Nistelrooy's now a part of that, Dion. And also, sitting up above us, on the tier above, Dan Ashworth is there, sitting next to, as Doku plays the ball into the penalty area, but Evans comes across, anticipates that well and is able to clear it away ahead of Haaland. So Dan Ashworth is sitting up there next to Dave Brailsford, and also the new chief exec as well, who came from Manchester City, Omar Barada. So there is a great deal different about Manchester United in certain ways. Here's Jallo. Amad Jallo now into the penalty area, little ball to Casemiro, back to Amad Jallo, he squares it, he should have gone for goal. And he holds his face. He knows it now. He tried to feel it back to Bruno Fernandes, but he was virtually in one-on-one with Ederson and chose to pass.
He's 3 yards out on the angle. He has to take the shot. He's on his left foot as well. He tried to score the perfect goal. Some lovely 1-2s just coming in the right-hand side. Down Man United's right into the box. 1-2. Casemiro gives it back. Diallo just trying to be too clever, put the ball in the back of the net. You're 3 yards out, put your team 1 up. That's the best chance of the game.
Lovely move.
Great move
from Manchester United.
But don't complicate it. The whole idea is you get yourself into goal-scoring positions and then you pull the trigger.
Dion, it was as simple as can be until the last touch.
It was made difficult.
Cheltenham winning 2-0 against Newport. Newport under the new management of Nelson Jardim, who I think is an interesting appointment, the Portuguese, but 2-0 down in his first competitive match. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. Community Shield, 5 Live, BBC Sounds, live from Wembley Stadium. This time next week we'll be bringing you commentary on the first weekend of the Premier League. Usual drill, more Premier League matches on 5 Live than you will hear anywhere else. So this time next week, Ian Dennis will be guiding you through Arsenal against Wolves, as has been the case in recent seasons. 5 Live, the pace for the 5:30 kickoffs on a Saturday evening in the Premier League, where West Ham against Aston Villa is our first one of those next week. Cheltenham 2, Newport 1 now, goal back for Newport, and Wimbledon 2, Colchester 2 is the latest score, as Manchester City, with shade now covering approximately a third of the Wembley Stadium pitch, as Ruben Dias overhits a pass straight out of play for a throw-in to Manchester United on the halfway line. Erik ten Hag standing there, just as he did in the FA Cup final, when he had that notable and possibly career-saving victory in terms of his position as the Manchester United manager. Erik ten Hag in the tight-fitting black suit. He looks like he's going to a wedding. Pep Guardiola looks like he's going to the beach, as Casemiro hits a shot. Bruno Fernandes hits a shot that's blocked on the edge of the penalty area. Ederson comes and juggles it and is a little fortunate there that it bounced back to him off Akanji. But referee Jared Gillett has blown the whistle, because I think Ruben Dias took a bang in the midst of all that.
Yeah, I think he was the one, which he does, and he loves to do, block the shot with his head, hit him really strongly in the possibly the top of the head as he bends down to make sure it goes nowhere near his goal, and then he's a little bit dazed after that, puts his hands in the air to say, referee, I just need a moment. But again, that's his job, puts his head in the way, and he does it all season.
Dion Dublin with us on 5 Live. Premier League Golden Boot winner, no stranger to these sort of occasions, Dion, as Manchester City, Jared Gillett just drops the ball back for Ederson, who is in Manchester City's new goalkeeping outfit, which is all
Yes.
All
what is that, John?
sandy colour? Almost golden. And Manchester City with Gvardiol approaching the halfway line, who goes back across to Diaz. Yes, next weekend the commentaries: Arsenal, Wolves, West Ham, Aston Villa, Brentford, Crystal Palace, and then Chelsea, Manchester City. That's Sunday 4:30. 5 Live, the place to hear it. Manchester United in the opening match on the Friday night at home to Fulham. We'll have coverage of that for you on Friday evening. Here is Ederson. There's been quite a bit of speculation about whether Ederson would be continuing at Manchester City with Saudi Arabian interest, but here he is starting the Community Shield. Ortega on the bench. Manchester United with Harry Maguire, just runs the ball out of the penalty area, then gives it across to Evans. Evans pass, Mainu now to the left hand side to Martinez. Mainu, lovely. That's typically mobile Kobbie Mainu play. The 19-year-old then gives it centrally to Bruno Fernandes. Manchester United fans encouraged by this. Amad Diallo is now off and running down the right wing, but he gives it back to Diogo Dalot to his right. Bruno Fernandes, who's dropped deep here, he gets it back. Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro now through, Kobbie Mainu, then to Casemiro, then across to Rashford, who shoots wastefully across the face of goal. It's from the angle, but Rashford, in times past, I've seen him rattle those into the bottom far corner, but well wide of the far post.
Yeah, it's good football for Manchester United. They've gone from the right-hand side where Diallo had it here on the right-hand side. They've played a few 1-2s. It made his way over to Rashford. He's on the angle. He's only 10-20 yards out, and he could have just... There was no venom in the shot. He tried to curl it on the floor. I want a bit more venom in the shot, a bit more belief that you can score.
That was actually reminiscent of the Mainu goal in the cup final.
Yes.
And
just passed in the corner.
Yeah, and from round about that position, Kobbie Mainu tucked it away. Marcus Rashford has been quiet in the match so far.
He has, but you know, that kind of finish is from a player that really hasn't had many touches.
Lovely summer scene here inside Wembley Stadium. Sun shining down, although clouds must be in front of it just at the moment. The arch above gleaming in white. Sky blue one half, red, white and black the other half. Manchester City in possession in what is the 102nd playing of the Community Shield, Charity Shield, whatever this match has been over the years since the early 1900s. It is a tradition as Bruno Fernandes overhits a pass through for Amad, who can't get that under control, and it's through for a goal kick. I'm not sure what the future will hold for the Community Shield. I think there are obvious possibilities about what might happen to this match, and I know many countries now, these matches are played overseas, aren't they? And I know there's talk of that for the Premier League, which you would like to think that the football regulator, once they are appointed, would be all over. I think if there is a match to be moved overseas, I think this would be an obvious contender, but whether that should be the case is very much a debating point.
I think you'd sell a few tickets, John, that one.
Certainly would. And having a good idea of the kind of places it would be relocated to. But
I'll see you there, John.
Well,
I'll see you there.
Let's hope we'll see each other for it at Wembley Stadium for many years to come. Here is Amad Diallo inside his own half, but Manchester City are able to win it back and play it back towards the edge of the penalty area. So yeah, much more to come from the Olympics over the course of these couple of days. As we heard from Katie, Caden Cunningham will be underway sometime for Great Britain and Northern Ireland after 3:30 in the Taekwondo. We've got the final night of boxing from Roland Garros coming up, but of course athletics, the centrepiece of what we'll do tonight, and Kelly Cates will be inside the Stade de France, as she has been all week, from 6 o'clock tonight, when we'll be handing across to her on the penultimate day of the Olympics. And I have to say, Dion, over the course of the last day or so, I've been watching very closely to see whether GB and NI will finish ahead of France in the medals table.
Been brilliant, eh?
Yeah.
The coverage has been brilliant on 5 Live. It sort of takes you there. You're actually there, aren't you, when you're listening to these events, and the commentary has been absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I tip my hat to you all. Well done.
Yeah, looked great on the television as well. Some of the venues have been brilliantly chosen, haven't they? It is very reminiscent of London 2012 from that point of view. O'Reilly playing the ball back into his own half, comes across for Diaz. We've got just over 5 minutes of the first half to go, and the closest we've come was when James McAtee hit his shot against the post. And here is McAtee on the left-hand side. McAtee, fair hair bobbing, comes in field, actually beats Maguire, then gives it to Doku. Dallow's got to come short, which he does. Come close to Doku. Doku, little ball into McAtee, tried to give it back to Doku, who did score against United in the cup final on Manchester United's winning day, and then he has to give it back to Guardiola, now in field towards Lewis, and then on the halfway line Diaz, pass forward to Doku, and Doku's got it where he wants it and actually plays it down the line for a run of McAtee. McAtee's got some space on the left hand side. McAtee on his left foot, plays it across, deflected. Lewis inside the penalty area, good work from him, pulled across but deflected down, and Manchester United are able to clear through Harry Maguire to the halfway line.
Yeah, a bit of scramble defence there from Maguire. I think Casemiro's gone down actually. We'll have to put the ball out here. But what it is with City is because they have such good players and they all have a position that they start in, but they just intertwine, they go into each other's positions. United are not sure who's where, so they're following a player, then that gap appears and then Doku gets it to his feet. Very well drilled.
Yeah, it's been a typical pre-season match, really. There've been moments, flashes of inspiration, as the players are going to take a break here while treatment is administered on the edge of the penalty area, and so the players have come across en masse, and actually Pep Guardiola's taking the chance for a time-out here, isn't he? He's walked onto the pitch in his cream t-shirt, and actually the fourth official, Sam Barrett, says, hang on a minute, it's not a timeout. He actually walks into the middle of the Manchester City group and says to Pep Guardiola, you can't do this on the pitch while the game...
But he's still on the pitch.
But he is actually, even though he's come to the side of the pitch, he's still on the pitch. And this is classic Guardiola, isn't it? It's absolute classic Guardiola YMCA stuff. In the middle of a group of players, arms pointing out in all directions.
Well, the thing is as well, every single player in and around Pep, he's only about a yard away from his technical area, over the white line on the pitch, and every single blue shirt is looking at him in the eye, he's waving his arms about as if to say, I want you there, do that, play that pass, and everybody's listening. Clap of the hands.
Latest scores in League 2, Wimbledon now 3-2 up on Colchester. It's Barrow 1, Crewe 0, Cheltenham 2, Newport 1, Doncaster 0, Accrington 0, Fleetwood 1, Grimsby 0, Gillingham 1, Carlisle 0, Harrogate Town 0, Bromley 0, MK Dons 1, Bradford City 2, Salford 0, Port Vale 0, Tranmere 0, Notts County 0, and Walsall 1, Morecambe 0. Still, we wait for Casemiro to come back onto the field now. Also Rangers 2, Motherwell 1, the latest scores we've heard from Gavin, and Ross County 0, Dundee United 0 in the other 3 o'clock kickoff. Back to the Olympics, back to the golf, Ian Carter.
Big moment coming on the 18th green, John, for Esther Henseleit, the 25-year-old German from Hamburg, ranked 54 in the world. She's 7 under par, 5 under for her closing round. She's on the 18th green. She's hit an excellent second shot into this par 5, and now she is surveying an eagle putt that, were it to drop, would give her a share of the lead. Lydia Ko, not so long ago, was leading this tournament by 5 shots, but Henseleit has made her move, and Lydia Ko double bogeyed the 13th. She's now playing the 15th, the New Zealander, as Henseleit sends this putt from 35 feet on its way, turning towards the hole, looking very good, and coming up to the hole side. That's going to be a birdie for the German, which breaks the logjam, puts her into silver medal position at 8 under par, and cuts Lydia Ko's lead to just 1 shot at 9 under.
Still Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0 at Wembley. But a driving run from Kovacic set up Jeremy Doku, all tricks and twinkles, back onto his right foot, but pulled his shot wide. Now he suggested that it was deflected wide, but a goal kick's been given, Dion.
Yeah, I don't think it was at all. Kovacic in there, middle of the park, is such a confident player on the ball, breaking the lines, going past 3 Man United players and just setting his teammate up. Just couldn't put the icing on the cake that time, Doku.
No, he's been one of the stars of the first half, though. Jeremy Doku, but still goalless here. What about Britain's Caden Cunningham in the taekwondo, Katie Smith?
He's just walked out here into the arena under the arches of the Grand Palais. He looks confident. There's a big smile on his face. He's the European champion fighting for a place in the Olympic final, but it's going to be tough. He's up against a world champion, Czech Salasise, former Olympic gold medalist as well.
Still 0-0, free kick to Manchester United. We're in the last minute of the first half. Free kick from way over there on the far side. When City had that last chance through Doku, Casemiro is still off the field, but he's come back on. Free kick is hit long to the back post, but pulled across, hooked across by Kobbie Mainoo straight wide and behind of the near post for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's incredible. Man United get a free kick halfway inside City's half on the left hand side, and they decide to put it in the box, yet they get into crossing positions and they don't cross it. So I don't understand that at all.
If you've not been able to keep across absolutely everything today, the first round of matches in the Championship, most of them kicked off at 12:30, and some very notable scorelines, not least Leeds 3, Portsmouth 3, which was really dramatic. So was Millwall 2, Watford 3. Oxford United, really good start for them in the Championship, 2-0 against Norwich City. And also Cardiff 0, Sunderland 2 stood out for me, with Régis Lebris, their new manager, in charge for the first time. 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half, but we'll round up all of the scores for you at half-time when Mark takes things up again. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. Manchester City have had the better of things, but Manchester United, with that chance that they had, the big chance that Amad Diallo really should have gone for goal with, and then chose for a reason that only he can know, to try and square it to Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, I mean, City have had most of the ball and possibly more chances. The best chance has fell to United. They just complicated it towards the end of the game. Man United got to move the ball quicker, get into crossing positions, put the ball in the box. City only have to get that last pass in the final third correct, and they will score.
0-0 with the ball on the edge of the Manchester United penalty area, and it's passed across from Martinez to Maguire, and then off it comes and out for a throw-in to Manchester City off Bruno Fernandes, for a throw-in that Manchester City take. Back to Diaz across. Beg your pardon, it was Mason Mount it came off there. I must say, Mason Mount, even though he did very well pre-season, has been very quiet in the match.
I think there's a few players that you could say that about. Marcus Rashford's not really had a kick of the ball. Kobbie Mainoo's not really done a lot either. I mean, Man City, the way they set up when they've got the ball, they make the pitch so big that there's got to be gaps in between the red shirts, and they're using it.
Full double teapot from Pep Guardiola as Ederson overhit a pass downfield. And he turns and he slaps the top of the advertising hoarding, and with very heavy tread walks back and takes his seat on the bench. But now he'll have to stand up, head to the dressing room. He's actually turned around and he's remonstrating with some of his coaches. He slapped a piece of paper down on the floor. He's having a right go at one of the coaches behind it, just getting it off his chest. He was not happy with that. 0-0 at half-time, Dion.
Yeah, I just believe that, you know, Man United have had the best chance. City have just kept it so well. That's what they do. I'd like to see a little bit more urgency from both teams in the second half. It's wide open here.
Yeah, it is. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0, as two young spectators in front of us pretend that they're commentating as well to me and Dion.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Dion. Caden Cunningham in action in his semi-final in the Taekwondo, and he leads 9-4 in the first round. We'll go to Katie and Steve shortly. Remember, in the Championship earlier, Cardiff 0, Sunderland 2, Hull 1, Bristol City 1, Leeds 3, Portsmouth 3, Borough 1, Swansea 0, Millwall 2, Watford 3, Oxford 2, Norwich 0, QPR 1, West Brom 3, and Stoke 1, Coventry 0. To the Super League, Leeds Wigan, Sharon Shortall.
And it's Leeds Rhinos with the advantage at half-time. They lead by 8 points to 0. Just one try in this game so far, with Harry Newman being on the end of a great break from Reece Martin, supported by Lockie Miller. He fed Newman to go in. It went to the video referee. Eventually it was deemed that the grounding was good and Leeds were off the mark. Reece Martin converted, and then he went on to add a penalty with just 4 minutes to go before the half-time whistle, after a high tackle on James Bentley from the former Leeds Rhinos player Sam Walters. So Leeds Rhinos with the edge. Wigan possibly having the better of that first half as far as territory and chances go, but it's the home side with the advantage. Leeds Rhinos 8, Wigan Warriors 0.
opening weekend of the Women's Scottish Premier League season. What you don't want on the opening day is to lose 9-0, which is exactly what happened to Dundee United against Celtic. Second weekend of the Scottish Premiership, half-time goalless between Ross County and Dundee United. They're still playing at Hampden, where Rangers lead Motherwell by 2-1. We'll do League Two, we'll do the National League, all those half-times and the other divisions in Scotland as well. But Caden Cunningham is off to a very good start in the Taekwondo. Katie and Steve.
He has taken his fighting to another level, and that is what he needs in the semi-finals up against a former Olympic champion in the form of the Ivory Coast Czech Salas Cisse. That first round, Bunsey, 11-6, spinning kicks to the head, kicks to the body. It had everything.
It had absolutely everything, and what it also had is it had right at the end, it had Cisse moaning and complaining 3 or 4 times to the referee. That means Caden's got in his head, not just in his pads.
Well, we're into the second round. 10 seconds gone of the 2 minutes of allotted time. And Caden Cunningham, if he wins this, is into the Olympic final. He will be fighting for gold. But as we know in Taekwondo, a minute, 2 minutes, a second can last a lifetime. It can go in the blink of an eye.
Cisse is the expert at finishing in the last 2 or 3 seconds. He won a gold medal with 1 second to go when he was trailing, when he was losing. Caden just looks confident here. This has slowed down. We're nearly 30 seconds into the second round, and it's slowed down. It's not like the first round. Totally different fight suddenly.
And the Ivorian is on the board. Kick to the body in this second round. So he leads by 2 points to nil. But Caden Cunningham, on his Olympic debut, came out like a man on a mission in the first round. There is 9 years in age between them. Cunningham 21, Czech Salas Cisse 30 years old. It's the old guard against the new kid.
It's 9 years, but it's a lifetime of Grand Prix, World Championships, Olympics, all sorts of events globally, Olympic qualifiers. But it means nothing at the moment. It means absolutely nothing. He knows Cisse. He's in the Olympic fight of his life right now.
Well, after such a ferocious first round, it has got edgy again, and they've both been penalised here for not coming together, for not fighting one another. So it's the Ivorian Cisse who leads 3-1 now, and he lands another kick to the body just with his toes scraping out, elongating that foot. 5-1.
And he managed to eat up the ground there. 1 minute he was 2 feet away, next thing you know he was right on Cunningham's chest, scoring with that kick.
He's just a bit taller than the Brit from Huddersfield in Yorkshire. 30 seconds here of the second round. There's 5 points in it. That is the difference of a turning kick to the head. Now Cunningham is asking his coach here, he's waving his hand, he's saying, I want you to challenge something here. So we have VAR in Taekwondo. It's not just reserved for Wembley today. And the card is handed over now.
I think it was a head kick, Katie. I think it was a head kick.
So we're going to see him hold up the card, puts his hand to his head.
Matrix system comes in.
And this is what they're going to look at. So we now get a 360-degree rotating, beautiful shot. And that cheer is because
crowd like that.
There's a lot of British fans here who think that foot of Caden Cunningham, the ball of the foot, has landed plumb on the head of the Ivorian in red. What does the judge think, though? They're taking their time. They're looking at it again. They're looking at all angles.
Does time mean good, or does time mean bad in this Matrix land that we've suddenly found ourselves in?
And it's good. It's very good. That is 3 points for Cunningham. That changes the game here in the second round. The card is given back to the British corner as well. So that means they can challenge again if they see anything that doesn't look quite right. It can also be strategic as well. So, how much time on the clock? 22 seconds. The gap is 2 points. What can Cunningham, the fourth-seeded fighter here, do? Goes in for the punch, but the body of Cisse turns and fends it off, and that's going to be a punishment against Cunningham. Now the gap is at 3 with 13 seconds.
Forget the times. 13 means nothing. It's just time in Taekwondo, and time can last an awful lot longer.
Now this is must win for Cisse, so he will be throwing absolutely everything at this. 8.9 seconds, shin guard just being adjusted by Cunningham. The clock starts again. Another jab with the right leg from the Brit in blue. He sends his opponent out of the mat. That's not allowed. That will be a point to Cunningham. Now the gap is at 2 again. 5 seconds. Can he get it done in 2 rounds? Cunningham goes for the big kick to the body. Does it land? No, it doesn't. He has a look around to his coach. He's not going to challenge that. Still 2 points in it. Half a second. Woo! Whoa. Well, this fight, Bunsey, it deserves to go the distance.
It does go the distance. We're going to get 2 minutes. Prime 2 minutes. The final 2 minutes.
Wow,
Right.
Caden Cunningham, sorry Mark, is a round away then still from potentially reaching the Olympic final.
Back for that. Half-time has gone at Hampden. Rangers lead Motherwell by 2-1 in League 2 this afternoon. All of these are half-time. AFC Wimbledon were 2-0 down at home to Colchester. They've turned it round to lead 3-2. Barrow 1, Crewe 0. Cheltenham 2, Newport 2. Doncaster 1, Accrington 0. Fleetwood 1, Grimsby 0. Gillingham lead Carlisle by 1-0. Bromley in the Football League for the first time this afternoon. A goalless at Harrogate. MK Dons 1, Bradford 2. Salford trail at home to Port Vale by 1-0. It's goalless between Tranmere and Notts County, and Walsall lead Morecambe by 1-0. Remember, the Community Shield is goalless between Manchester City and Manchester United. We'll be back for the second half at Wembley shortly. I'll give you the National League and the lower divisions in Scotland after a massive 3 minutes for Caden Cunningham with Katie and Steve.
And he's in the Octagon, in this building, the Grand Palais, built 124 years ago on the banks of the Seine, just next door to the Champs-Élysées. There is so much history here, and Caden Cunningham is just being made to wait by Cisse, the Rio Olympic champion, because his body protector's got a bit of water on it as he was taking on water in that break there.
He's also sweating like you wouldn't believe. This is grueling stuff.
So 2 minutes away, Caden Cunningham, from potentially a place in the Olympic final. But he is up against a man who has done it all before.
He's won Olympic gold with a second to go. 1 second to go in that heartbreaking taekwondo finish in Rio. That's what happens in this game. It can change in less than a second. They were competing earlier on when there was 0.6 of a second left, and they both went at each other.
So 15 seconds gone. Both fighters off their feet. They're both grappling in the air, both legs off the ground, trying to kick each other. This is a sport. It literally translates as the art of kicking and punching. And there they go again, right on the edge of the mat. And it is the Brit who is going out hard here, but he will be penalised because he edged out of the octagon. It's 8 by 8 metres squared, but he's really going for it here.
He has to go for it because he knows exactly what's at stake. It's a place in the final. It's a place in that golden land for taekwondo.
And they're still right on the edge of the mat. The referee pushes them back towards the centre. The crowd know what is at stake here. 1:20 to go. Cunningham just stepping from left foot forward to right foot forward. Now he fends off a jabbing right foot from Cisse.
Cisse's varying his feet, switching around, orthodox southpaw, and being told there by the referee for contact.
And Cunningham goes on the counter there as the lashing foot comes in from the Ivorian, but Cunningham doesn't score either, and he was going to be penalised again here. So it is Cisse who leads by 2 points to 0.
And he looks like he's comfortable, Cisse. He's got the plan. He's got that pressure. He's twice forced Caden back, forced him out, scored 2 points.
Well, Caden Cunningham, just 21 years old, said as soon as he decided at the age of 10 that he was going to take up this sport, he was going to go to the Olympics. He said Paris was the aim and Olympic gold was the mission. Well, he's got 51 seconds to continue that here. He is trailing in this third and deciding round. 45 seconds. He goes for the spinning kick, but he's nowhere near. He hits clean air. Now he tries to go for the head. He says, I've landed that. The coach is going to challenge.
Another head kick, and he got it correct last time, Caden. He raised his hand there. Let's see if he's managed to get it right again.
So he called that with real conviction, which hopefully gives us confidence here, because he knows if his foot made contact there. Will the judges agree?
You'll hear the crowd. Once the crowd see the Matrix-like replays, they'll make their judgment. It's a smart taekwondo crowd here of whatever it is, 11 or 9 or 12,000. Who cares? It's one of the all-time great venues for taekwondo.
And that is a cheer. It looks like it's the heel of Caden Cunningham. I mean, the flexibility. He's doing the splits in the air. Left leg up at the head of Cisse, who's over 6 foot tall. His right foot just about touching the lilac base below him.
Is it given?
And that has been accepted. Yes. That is 3 points to Caden Cunningham of Team GB. The card returned again. So remember, that could be crucial later on. The challenge is still there. And Caden Cunningham, for the first time now in this deciding round, leads with just over half an hour to go.
Trump punch.
Now he leads by 5 points to 3. Blink of an eye, you miss it. It's furious. It is flurrying. A punch attempt from Cisse. He reckons he got that, but it's not been given. There are 2 points in it. 23 seconds.
2 points left, 22 seconds, an eternity in Taekwondo, and Caden is being forced back. He's going to be forced out if he's not careful. The Ivory Coast fans are going ballistic. They feel it's 5-5, Katie, it's 5-5!
It's 5-5 with 14 seconds to go. There are Olympic dreams on the line in the Grand Palais. Paris 2024, now they cannot be stopped. The legs are lashing all over. 5-5 still, less than 5 seconds to go. Is that a punch from Cisse? He looks at the referee.
He thinks it is.
The ref says no. Less than 5 seconds. Who's going to get this here? That is the buzzer. Who is going to get this? They are both claiming it. They're both taking their head guards off. They stand either side of the referee. The Grand Palais falls silent. It's been given to Caden Cunningham.
Unbelievable scenes. Unbelievable scenes.
He roars, and I think it might just be that spectacular 4-point spinning kick to the body all the way back in round one that has done it for him. His opponent falls to the middle of the ring. It will be no second gold for the Ivory Coast, but Caden Cunningham, the new kid on the block, is going to fight for Olympic gold in the Taekwondo.
What a contrast. What a contrast, Steve, to his quarter-final and his semi-final. Quarter-final really cagey. That was fantastic.
It's like he sent out his twin. That fight there was a different kid from the one earlier on. A different fighter, a different man, a different head. How calm he is, how relaxed he is. But he also does a little thing. He still plays to the crowd. The crowd like him. And by the way, Cisse is the crowd's favourite.
And that is only the second time, Mark, that Caden Cunningham has ever beaten this guy. He is so popular here. The Ivorian flag is like whack-a-mole. Everywhere you look, left, right, there's grandstands on all four sides where we sit here, and all the flags were waving for him. But now we see the Union Jacks creeping into the picture. Caden Cunningham will fight for gold.
And also, twice in that fight, he used his review well. He both times told his coach to play that review, didn't he?
The first time he was confident and we were mildly confident. The second time he seemed confident. I'm not sure the coach was. You could see on the coach's face as he stepped up onto the mat to hand the card in to the judge. And the crowd weren't as buoyant. I said we'll know from the crowd's reaction. Of course we didn't. That's how much I know. But then we were told it was given to Caden, and that was it. That's what pulled him in front. That's what gave us where it was. And then Cisse came back. A stunning final round there. A stunning final round.
I appreciate that they can be a little bit all over the place with their timings at the Taekwondo. What time are you expecting the gold medal fight, Katie?
Bear with me 1 second. Let's have a look. So expected timing, 19 minutes past 8 UK.
19 minutes past 8 UK. Thank you very much, Caden Cunningham. Into the final, he'll go for gold at 19 minutes past 8. Rebecca McGowan was out in the quarterfinals. Let me just tidy up the half-times. Told you Rangers lead Motherwell by 2-1 in the Scottish Premiership. In the Championship in Scotland, Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 1, Morton 0, Hamilton 0, Wraith 1, Partick 0. In League 1, Annan 0, Inverness 0, Arbroath 0, Montrose 0, Dumbarton 1, Alloa 2, Kelty Hearts 1, Stenhouse Muir 0, and Queen of the South 0, Cove Rangers 0, and Clyde 0, Stranraer 0 as we go into League 2. East Fife 0, Edinburgh City 0, Peterhead 1, Forfar 0, Spartans 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, and Stirling 0, Elgin 1. So that's all the half times in Scotland. The one that I haven't given you in England when it comes to the half times are the National League. AFC Fylde 1, Solihull Moors, who of course lost on penalties in the playoff final last year, 2. Aldershot 2, Forest Green Rovers 1. Altrincham were down to 10 men inside 12 minutes this afternoon, but they lead Woking by a goal to 0. Boston 0, Rochdale 2, Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Wealdstone 0, Halifax 0, Barnet 0, Gateshead 3, Ebbsfleet 0, Maidenhead 0, Eastleigh 2, Oldham 2, Braintree 0. Southend are a goal up on York. It's goalless between Tamworth and Sutton, and Yeovil and Hartlepool. Right, to the Velodrome next. Alistair Bruce Ball, what have you got for us this afternoon?
Session's just underway. The one gold medal up for grabs tonight is in the men's Madison final. It starts at 5 o'clock UK time. GB have made a late replacement there. Ethan Hayter is out with a thigh strain. Mark Stewart and Ollie Wood will ride the race. They won the silver medal at the World Championships last year. Emma Finucane is on track and Sophie Capewell will be shortly. They're trying to make it through to the semi-finals of the women's sprint by the end of the competition, and we'll see Jack Carlin and Hamish Turnbull go in the first round of the men's. Kieran.
USA-Brazil is the gold medal match in the women's football. That's just got underway. Maz Faruqi.
Yeah, we are a couple of minutes underway here at the Parc de France, Mark, in this gold medal match between the four-time gold medalists, the USA and Brazil, and a great early chance. 1-2 edge of the area for Ludmilla of Brazil, forcing the save from the US keeper. Remember, Emma Hayes has only been in charge of this USA side for a matter of months, but here they are in the gold medal match. But she was brought in not just to get into this final, but to get that gold medal. The big T news, of course, is about Marta, who was suspended in the quarterfinals and semi-finals for Brazil. Back, though, on the bench in her final major tournament in the colours of her country.
Lydia Ko has a one-shot lead in the women's golf, and she has 2 holes to play to protect that from the German Henseleit, who is in the clubhouse 8 under after a 6 under par round today. So she's in the clubhouse on 8 under. Lydia Ko has a one-shot lead. She's playing 17 and 18. So we'll be back with Ian for the crucial moments of that. So much drama, so much excitement around, and then we have the Community Shield. John Murray.
Mind you, the women's golf will have to go some to meet the drama of the men's golf last Sunday afternoon. But yeah, we'll be back to Ian for that. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. 2 minutes played in the second half in the bright, warm sunshine. Still probably thousands of people still to come back to their seats inside the stadium. And Manchester City, who hit a post in the first half through James McAtee, and Manchester United, their big chance when Amad Diallo seemed certain to score but chose to pass to Bruno Fernandes, and the chance had gone. So the teams as they were to start the match: Manchester United with Onana in goal, a back four of Dalot, Maguire, Evans and Martinez, Lisandro Martinez at left back, then Casemiro and Menu in midfield with Mason Mount, Amad Diallo on the right, Rashford on the left, who's already had one burst into the Manchester City box in the second half but was very quiet in the first. He had a chance, Rashford, actually, that he shot across the face of goal, and then Bruno Fernandes, the captain, making up the Manchester United 11. And Manchester City, Ederson in goal, then Lewis, Akanji, Ruben Dias and Gvardiol the back four, McAtee, Kovacic and O'Reilly in midfield, and then Bob and Doku in the wide positions, and Erling Haaland, who's never scored at Wembley. Erling Haaland, the big Norwegian, and he's not had a chance in the match. Haaland up front. Manchester United with Evans, and O'Reilly comes in on the challenge. Menu gives it back to Mason Mount. Now Rashford and Mount together on the left-hand side. It's a little ponderous. Kobbie Mainoo with a pass, which is back and behind Mason Mount, who then gives it into Maguire in the centre circle as Manchester United play from right to left towards the end where all of their supporters are. Not far short of capacity. It's probably between 70 and 80,000, I would guess, will be the official attendance as United go all the way back to Onana, the goalkeeper, and we can bring in Dion Dublin for the first time in the second half.
Yeah, I think we need to see United's wingers in the game. Marcus Rashford's been very quiet, as you did say, John, but I just think he's quiet in the second half. He seems to have a bit of a point to prove. He's made a couple of good runs, hasn't got the ball, but I think we need to see more of that. Midfield players need to find him in behind those fullbacks of City. Yeah, we will surely see changes as Mount overhits a ball forward, and that will just bounce away through for Ederson to chase, and he does actually choose to keep it in. Manchester City have got on the bench Savinho, their big signing so far. De Bruyne's on the bench as well. Ake, Calvin Phillips is there as well, having played in central defence in North America pre-season, and Manchester United have got Joshua Zirkzee on the substitutes bench, so we might see them, Zirkzee and Savinho. Yeah, I think there will be changes. I think it'll be 10-15 minutes. I think we'll see Pelistri, to be honest with you. I think he'll be one of those players that could just break the lines and just get Man United up the pitch a little bit more, cause City some problems. Yeah, the Uruguayan Pelistri, who was on loan at Granada last season. Here is O'Reilly for Manchester City, but Lisandro Martinez clears it away, but it's won back by City, and now McAtee to the edge of the area, but then Dalot went to ground actually, but made a good challenge, played forward from Casemiro. Mount is strongly challenged by Dias, and that is given as a free kick, and Dias looks
in the way that only footballers can, Dion, as though he's just seen the most incredible thing that he can't believe in his life.
I think we all have that look in our locker somewhere, John. I've used it a few times to the referee. Referee, he kicked me, it's hurting me. Can I have a free kick? And he got one.
He did.
It wasn't a great ball into a Mount at all. I think he just got across. Diaz got there first, and Diaz's foot sort of went on the top of Mount's foot as well. The studs on the top of the foot. That's a painful one.
It was a foul. Diaz knew it. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. Match is underway, and all of the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the second half. We'll have the latest scores during the course of the second half as soon as they come in. Here's Onana on the edge of his penalty area with the ball inside the D on the edge of the box. Just puts his foot on the ball, teases Haaland, says come on to Erling Haaland, then passes it to his right to Maguire. Maguire with a long pass all the way through to Mount. Mount turns nicely, but then the ball just runs away from Rashford over the course of the Wembley turf and out for a throw-in.
I mean, that's a ball. I mean, Rashford, he's got his heels on the line. He doesn't want the ball to feet. Put it in behind the fullback and allow Marcus to use his pace. Play it for him, don't play it to him.
Manchester United, again, it should remind you, by the way, that if the match finishes as a draw after the 90 minutes plus, it will go straight to penalty, so no extra time. Here's McAtee, now to Doku. Doku with a chance to run at Dalot. Doku just overruns it, and that means that Casemiro can step in. And now Bruno Fernandes turns and hits a long pass. This is one for Rashford to chase, but Akanji got there comfortably for Manchester City to see it back to goalkeeper Ederson.
Yeah, Doku there, one-on-one. Dalot down that right-hand side, and Casemiro just comes in just to double up, just to help and just to quash that problem, make it a little bit more difficult for Doku.
As well as the golf that'll be coming up from the Olympics with Ian Carter, we'll be making regular crosses to the velodrome as well. Now we're past 4 o'clock UK time. We've got the women's sprint heats. Emma Finucane will be taking part in that, and as I said, Kelly Cates will be presenting from inside the Stade de France for the final night of athletics from 6 o'clock or so. Still 0-0 here. Rangers still 2-1 up on Motherwell at Hampden, and Johnny Evans just bringing the ball down on the edge of his box and playing it back to Onana. Onana onto his right foot, then out to Dalot, and then Dalot back into the space here for Manchester United on the left-hand side. Johnny Evans now has Lisandro Martinez, who slips a ball forward for Bruno Fernandes to latch onto it on the edge of the area. Curling shot! Top corner! 1-0 Manchester United, and a super finish in the Community Shield from Bruno Fernandes that will not count because the offside flag is up. And so it remains Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0.
It was an amazing finish.
Straight from Wembley to the Velodrome, and Alistair Bruce Ball.
Lap and a half to go for Great Britain's Sophie Capewell, trying to get through to the quarterfinals of the women's sprint. She's up against the New Zealander Sian Fulton. You heard the bell, and both riders at full gas go into the bend away to our right-hand side. The New Zealander Fulton has the lead in the back straight. Capewell is now trying to accelerate past her in the back straight. This is very close, shoulder to shoulder into the home straight. The New Zealander still has the edge at the moment, but Capewell, I think, gets that on the line. It is going to be a photo finish. Come back to me for that. Emma Finucane already through to the quarterfinals. She cruised through against Christina Clonan, and Sophie Capewell is through as well. Both Brits through to the quarterfinals. John.
Thank you, Ali. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. And that goal, that Bruno Fernandes goal, is a beautiful finish from the edge of the area. Textbook curling shot over the top of Ederson's dive, ruled out because of the offside flag.
Yeah, it was exactly where you need to be when you're a right foot, and you've got a wonderful right foot like Bruno. He just curled it in the corner over and round the keeper. Keeper could do nothing, but before he actually started to celebrate naturally, he's looking at the linesman. Linesman's got his flag up.
So it is still goalless here at Wembley in the Community Shield on 5 Live from the BBC. All of the comprehensive coverage of the football season you will hear with us on 5 Live. as Manchester City break away with O'Reilly, who passes it forward to Haaland, 30 yards out, takes it on his left foot but couldn't find the pass past Maguire. McAtee then hits a shot from 25 yards from the angle, and that is dragged well wide and behind. Early goals in the second half. Gillingham now 2-0 up against relegated Carlisle. Carlisle going down last season. Doncaster Rovers 1, Accrington 1, and we've got a little bit of transfer news that Liverpool have now agreed to sell Fabio Carvalho to Brentford in a deal worth £27.5 million, the BBC understands. There's more on that on the website. And Erik ten Hag is preparing Garnacho and McTominay to come on. On a similar theme, Dion, no Aaron Wan-Bissaka involved today, and it would appear that West Ham have agreed a deal with Manchester United to buy the Manchester United right back. Here's Doku just outside the penalty area. Doku on his right foot, good challenge, bounces back from Menu, and now Bruno Fernandes, but the pass was a little short to Rashford, who had to slam on the brakes, and now Rashford begins to move forward but has to check back and give it to Bruno Fernandes, who goes for a right-footed pass, drills it out to the far side to Amad Diallo, who gets it down. Amad Diallo running it, Gvardiol into the penalty, and now McAtee's there as well, tries to slip it across, but Manchester City are able to clear away. It comes out to Maguire, still waiting for the opening goal in the Community Shield, and it's Amad Diallo again, who's had some great moments in the match. Then back to Menu, then it's chipped right across the box, and Lewis at the back post has to head it behind for Manchester United's first corner. More from Dion in a moment, but to Harrogate Town, Bromley and Adam Cottier.
It's Harrogate 0, Bromley 0. Bromley's wait for a Football League goal goes on, but they have been really good here in terms of chances they've created. They've had a shot cleared off the line as well, and looking the brighter team in this game. It's 0-0.
It's going to be a quadruple Manchester United substitution. Pellistri, as you suspected, Dion, is going to come on, and I think Toby Collier as well is coming on there, although he's got his shirt right of it. Yeah, it is number 43, Toby Collier, and it is a corner to Manchester United, their first of the match, from the left-hand side. The substitutions can wait a moment as Bruno Fernandes plays it into the back post. Edison Coombs gets a punch on that. Still United though. Ball's played across from the right-hand side. Maguire is there to head it across the penalty area, and actually the offside flag is up against Harry Maguire. So while Manchester United now, as expected, make all of these changes, we can whip round one or two events, starting with Gavin Wallace at Hampden.
Yep, just 5 minutes into the second half, Rangers 2, Motherwell 1. Cyril Dessers opening goal cancelled out by a Robin Proper own goal, but Vlaka Czerny on loan from Wilkesburg unleashed a rasper into the bottom left-hand corner on 25. Rangers 2, Motherwell 1.
And the latest on the Olympic gold medal final in the women's football, Maz Faruqi.
Well, I mentioned she started well. Ludmilla thought she'd scored for Brazil, but the offside flag was up on the far side. The USA coming into this game, though, more in the last few minutes. 16 minutes played, Brazil 0, USA 0.
What's happening in the goal? Ian Carter.
As Miyu Yamashita had a 25-footer for an eagle on the 18th to leap into a medal position, but it slipped by. It looks like it'll be a birdie that leaves her one behind Janet Lin of China, who is in the bronze medal position at 7 under. Esther Henseleit, the clubhouse leader, at 8 under, and Lydia Ko safely on the green in 2 at the 17th. The New Zealander leading by 1 at 9 under par.
20-year-old Toby Collier is coming on for Manchester United to make his senior competitive debut, taking over from Kobbie Mainoo in the midfield. An update on the Super League. Leeds Wigan, Sharon Chortle.
And you join us just as Reece Martin converts a try from Lockie Miller for Leeds Rhinos. Leeds have really had the better of the play in this second half. Miller eventually giving Leeds the advantage by sliding through the defence, running a lovely angle from 20 metres out. Martin converts to add to a penalty he slotted over just after the restart. Leeds Rhinos leads against Wigan Warriors by 16 points to 0.
Still Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0 here at Wembley Stadium. The sun just disappears for a moment, and Toby Collier, tall, fair-haired, socks right down to his ankles almost, long legs, plays it back to Onana. 4 changes then Erik ten Hag, Dion Dublin, so Amad Diallo, Harry Maguire, Kobbie Mainoo and Mason Mount are off. Collier's on, Scott McTominay's on, Facundo Pellistri and Alejandro Garnacho, so he's changed it up significantly.
Yeah, maybe just to bring a bit more pace to the game. Scott McTominay will stay in the centre of that midfield. I think he's going to allow Casemiro just to move about, be a bit freer in there, create some chances for United.
And Garnacho, he has become such a favourite over the course of the last couple of seasons, is now over there on the right-hand side, taking the place of Amad Diallo. And immediately into the action, giving it to Casemiro. Now here's Bruno Fernandes, who's appeared on the left-hand side. Plays it to Garnacho, who's come all the way over to the left, and then Lewis blocks the cross. And Lewis does well, actually, to take the ball away. Garnacho tries to tackle him back. And Manchester City go all the way back into their own 6-yard box, where Rashford tries to close down Ederson. But many have tried that in the past, and not many succeed. And the Brazilian goalkeeper is able to turn the ball onto his left and clear it away. Feels like a contest that we might be seeing for many years ahead in Manchester derbies. Garnacho against Lewis, as Manchester City are going to respond with changes of their own. I think Mateus Nunes is going to come on. He's bare-chested at the moment. He's another one who I think has got a lot to improve, a lot of improving to do after his first season, the former Wolves man.
Absolutely, and I think he'll be given opportunities like today just to stretch your legs. What have you got? I know why I brought you to the club, so show me that.
Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. Long pass from Akanji. Pep Guardiola going to make those changes to respond to Erik ten Hag. Here's Doku. Doku now takes it on towards the byline. Pellistri with him, turns, gives it back to Gvardiol. Little touch to McAtee. Now Doku again he's up against Pellistri, takes him on into the penalty area, pulls it across, deflects out to McAtee turning inside the area, now across to Bob. It's very congested in there, and then it's played back out to Gvardiol, who's going to hit a right foot shot that whizzes wide by probably no more than 2 or 3 feet and behind.
Yeah, City really just turning the screw slightly now, and I mean Gvardiol's effort at the end, he's 25 yards out on the angle. I don't think he's going to trouble Onana, but just Doku causing havoc down that left-hand side again. It doesn't matter who you've got in at that left back. Pellistri's come on now and he's getting the run around. First couple of minutes, I mean, as good as Doku is, as a centre forward with a centre forward's hat on, because I've got 2 hats, John. I've got a centre half's hat and a centre forward's hat.
Only 2 hats?
Only 2.
I think you've got a few more hats than that, Dion. Come on.
As a centre forward, he's got to be really difficult to play with, because you make your runs and the ball doesn't come in, but as an individual, it's very exciting to watch Doku.
You've got your light entertainment hats. Where are they?
They've got dust on those.
You got them in the back.
Cobwebs.
Right, changes. Young Nico O'Reilly, who has done really well in the midfield, is going to come off. Jeremy Doku as well, and coming on for Manchester City. They're going to bring on, as I mentioned, Mateus Nunes and also Savinho. So here we are, we're going to see the number 26, big cheer to welcome him from the Manchester City supporters, his competitive debut for Manchester City. This young Brazilian, 20 years old, he's already played here at Wembley. Dion came on as a substitute for his first cap for Brazil here in March, if you remember that, late on in the game when Eldrick ended up getting all of the headlines from that match. But he's
direct, isn't he?
He is very direct, and he's been part of the City group for quite a while, because he was signed by Troyes, who are part of the City group, the French side, who are down in the 3rd division there. He was on loan at Girona, another one of the City teams, the City group teams, last season when they did so well, scored goals, set up goals, and here he is now, right out there with his heels on the white line.
Hasn't moved. He's gone to that left wing spot, out wide, hasn't come inside at all.
As City send a ball forward for Haaland to chase. Johnny Evans goes with him. Haaland gives it back to Mateus, gives it back to Oscar Bob. Left-footed ball from him. Here is Savinho, the Manchester City supporters. Did you hear that? The reaction that there was in the stands, the anticipation as the ball landed at the feet of this 20-year-old Brazilian. But then United are able to win it back. Nice ball from Bruno Fernandes to Garnacho. Garnacho now, he's got City company with him. Fernandes clips it forward into the area. McTominay over on the right side of the box, and then the challenge comes in on him, which deflects out of play off the Manchester United man and through for a goal kick. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. And there has been an opening goal in the League Two match involving Bromley, newly in the Football League. Adam Cottier.
And Bromley have their first Football League goal. Michael Cheek, their top scorer from last season. He didn't know too much about it. Deflected shot from outside the area from Odatayo, and he touched it into the net from not too far out. Bromley lead on their Football League debut. Harrogate 0, Bromley 1.
Also Wimbledon now 4-2 up on Colchester, having been 2-0 down in the first half. What an opening day match that is for them. 0-0 here, but Manchester City on the attack. Savinho gives the ball out towards the left-hand side, and it results. Mateus Nunes wins a corner, and Savinho already into the action, the number 26, whipping up the City fans behind the goal, and he's grabbed the ball. He's going to take the corner.
Yeah, great feet, inside to out, beat a couple of players, put his teammate in.
Savinho, white boots, shorts pulled well down, can hardly see a spot of leg in there. Plays it across, headed across the area by Diaz, comes out to Bob. Diaz makes a run forward, still Bob, the Norwegian, towards the byline on the right, chips it across over Haaland. Savinho's in to hit the ball on the half volley, but blocked by Pellistri. City though are able to bring it down with McAtee, who just kept the ball in, actually nearly gave it to Garnacho, and then Garnacho is pulled up. The ball had just gone actually, and in on the challenge on Kovacic to win the free kick, just a little late really, free kick. Yeah, they've camped in Manchester United's final third at the moment, City. They do really need to concentrate now, United. They're just starting to play some really good football, City. City on the attack again after the quick free kick. Ball chipped across, looking for Haaland, but that's cleared away by Martinez. Still, Manchester United haven't got it completely away. Guardiola plays it forward, but now Manchester United might look to break away, but actually go back towards the edge of their own penalty area. So back to Ian Carter at the golf.
Lydia Ko safely through the 17th in par figures, so at 9 under par, carries a one-shot lead to the closing par 5. A par at the last will mean that the silver medalist in Rio, the bronze medalist in Tokyo, will be the gold medalist in Paris. New Zealand's Lydia Ko leading by 1, about to tee off at the last.
Thank you, Ian. The Olympics, the coverage continues throughout the course of today, this evening, the Stade de France, and then tomorrow the final day, closing ceremony tomorrow night. Be able to watch that on BBC One as yellow card is produced by Jared Gillett, the first of the match for Gvardiol for his challenge on Scott McTominay. So a yellow card for the Manchester City left back. We are now into the final quarter of the match, still 0-0.
I'll tell you what was nice, John, when Nico O'Reilly comes off the pitch, he got a great ovation from the fans because he's had a really good first half, start of the second half, but every single member of the Man City staff clapped him, high-fived him as if to say, well done, you're part of what we need moving forward. It's a really nice thing to see. Yeah,
another young Mancunian, Nico O'Reilly, his senior competitive debut, and he certainly did himself no harm in terms of his prospects. Whether this season it'll be at Manchester City or whether he might get a loan move, we'll see. As Haaland now, Savinho though under pressure actually passes the ball out of play. Manchester United supporters cheer that, and it's out for a throw into Manchester United halfway inside their own half. You know, I'm sure it'll be a question to Pep Guardiola at the end of this match whether O'Reilly is part of his plans for the first team. But if he's available as a lone player this season, then on the basis of what we've seen here and in pre-season with Manchester City, I think he would be a very shrewd acquisition. Back to Leeds, Wigan in the Super League, Sharon Shortle.
And Leeds have gone further in front. James McDonald, the latest to get his name on the score sheet. The kick still to come from Reece Martin, but as it stands, it's Leeds Rhinos 22, Wigan Warriors 0.
Manchester United played for Bruno Fernandes, who I thought might have been offside. He took it on and shot early, but straight at Ederson.
Listen, it's a great ball. It's the ball that Trent Alexander plays for England. Doesn't even look, plays it around the corner. Bruno was in. I thought he could have squared it to Rashford.
The two Manchester City substitutes together, Mateus Nunes and Savinho. Savinho back to Mateus Nunes, but Martinez did superbly well to come across from left back. He read that, Martinez. Copa America winner with Argentina this summer, was straight across there in on the challenge to put it behind for a corner.
Yeah, it's one of those challenges Martinez knows he's going to win. You know what, he doesn't really need to go to ground. He gets there first, could have stayed on his feet. Watching the replay, yeah, he gets there first and there's no challenge to be had, but he goes to ground. Likes to tackle, Martinez.
He does.
Doesn't mind the physicality in the game.
Yeah, we mentioned Kobe Mainu as City have this corner which is swung in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and Akanji was the target. I think Johnny Evans was up with him as well, and referee Gillett says came off the Manchester United man, so it's another corner for Manchester City that Savinho is going to take. Savinho, also known as Savio Moreira de Oliveira. Sounds like he's stepped right off the Copacabana, doesn't it?
He'll be Sav in the dressing room.
Yeah. The girl from Ipanema is actually from Sao Paulo, but never mind. Savinho is going to take this left-footed and outswinger towards the penalty spot that is headed away by Evans. It bounces out where Lewis got underneath it, tried to work it out back to Savinho. There's a City player down after a clash of heads, and therefore referee Gillett blows the whistle and walks across just to see if we're going to need to see the physios coming on to the field. Still Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. Manchester City in the Community Shield for a 4th consecutive year, having won the title 4 years running, but have lost every year of these last 3 in the Community Shield match. Guardiola it is who's the player who's got to his feet and he's okay.
Seems to be, doesn't he? Making his way back into his left back spot. I mean, I've got to say, I'm looking at the Manchester City substitutes down there, possibly the worst warm-ups I've ever seen in the history of warming up at Wembley. Hands on hips, legs apart. Let's have a conversation, lads.
Doncaster Rovers now 2-1 up on Accrington in League 2. The other thing we should mention, Dion, is Dalot currently in midfield and Pellistri at right back. That's part of the shake-up for Manchester United. Here's Oscar Bob, Manchester United losing possession, so Manchester City beginning to build the pressure again. McAtee, lovely touch. Bob and Lewis together. Bob challenged inside the penalty area, crucial that. McAtee goes down in the box, but the challenge was good, says referee Gillett, and it's played away by Casemiro with the outside of his foot. That's one for Garnacho to chase, but Ruben Diaz was able to get there first, and they play it away, Manchester City, back to Guardiola. The other thing about Savinho is, Dion, his rural upbringing, brought up on his grandparents' farm, picking tomatoes and milking cows, and now here he is playing for Manchester City at Wembley in the Community Shield, and Lewis ran the ball out of play on the right-hand side, so it's a free kick to Manchester United.
Tough that, hey, that's what it takes to get to the top. Bit of hard work, do what you've got to do. Very similar to growing up in Leicester on the council estate, John, let me tell you. Well,
it takes all sorts. Doncaster leading Accrington by 3-1, still 2-1 Rangers lead at Hampden in the Premiership. Ross County 0, Dundee United 0 in the other Premiership match, and still 0-0 here with less than 20 minutes to play, so just over 20 minutes away from a penalty shootout to decide the Community Shield, as was the case last year when Arsenal ended up winning in a shootout against Manchester City. Free kick to Manchester United that Dalot wants to take. Pep Guardiola has just come out to ask Bruno Fernandes why he belted the ball into Oscar Bob. There wasn't really any need for that, but it is a Manchester derby.
I don't know, John, I don't know, because Marcus Rashford did make a run in behind the fullback and he was legitimately trying to find him.
Yeah, as referee Gillett decided to ignore that, as Mateus Nunes plays it back to Ederson. Back to Wetherby Road, Harrogate, because Adam Cottier.
Harrogate Town 0, Bromley 2 is the scoreline, because Harrogate have scored from a corner. Kamal Grant heading in, towering header from him from a central position inside the box, and it went past the keeper, and Bromley now in a commanding position on their Football League debut with 20 minutes to go. Harrogate 0, Bromley 2.
Yeah, Bromley founded in 1892. Today, in 2024, their first match in the Football League, and it looks like they're on the way to victory with Andy Woodman in charge, Gareth Southgate's great friend. Long throw for Manchester City, headed away by Manchester United. Collier Now it bounces forward to Bruno Fernandes, who turns and plays the ball over the top for Garnacho. Rashford's in the middle, he finds him, and Rashford is denied by Ederson. Or did he even get a touch on it? I'm not sure he did. I think Rashford just shot wide of the Manchester City goalkeeper as he came out. He did, and it hit the outside of the post and went wide.
Wow, that is apart from Man United having the best chance in the first half, they've had the best chance in the second half as well. I think it was Garnacho that played the ball over. Bruno just put Garnacho in down the right hand side, and Akanji couldn't commit to the ball, so he's in between. He's not quite sure what to do. Marcus Rashford he's about 14 yards out on his left foot. All he has to do is beat the keeper. They're the ones where you keep your eye on the ball, don't look at the keeper, don't look at the goal, hit the target, and he doesn't.
Rashford misses the chance. Still Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. And from Wembley to the Olympic Velodrome, and Alistair Bruce Ball.
Men's Keirin first round, going for Great Britain in the second heat. Here is Jack Carlin, 6 riders in the race. The motorbike is building the pace inside the velodrome at the moment. The 6 riders in a line, and Jack Carlin in the dark blue suit of Great Britain is second in that line. Victoria Pendleton. Jack Carlin won bronze in the men's individual sprint yesterday. He actually feels he has a better chance in this event. He feels he might be stronger in this event.
Yes, and actually he's drawn position number 2 behind the bike, which is probably arguably the best position to be in. It allows you to control the pace and the tacks from behind, so at the moment looking very comfortable for Jack Carlin.
Yeah, the pace is steadily building here. We'll be back to the Community Shield shortly. Jack Carlin now just stepping on the gas, and the bike leaves the track, so 3 laps to go sprinting here, and Jack Carlin looking to finish in the top 2. The German Dernbach makes a move, and Carlin goes with him.
He matches it and keeps him on his shoulder and takes the lead of the race, checking over his shoulder for any further attacks. Jack Carlin out the saddle again.
Yeah, Dernbach goes again, just goes past Carlin here, and then Carlin very nearly collided with Vigier, the Frenchman. That lost him a bit of ground, Victoria.
There's a small gap that he can run into. It's still not over. There's a lap to go. If Jack Carlin can get on the wheel, they're coming over the top of Harry Levresen.
Harry Levresen on the way down the back straight. Jack Carlin is chasing, great speed from Jack Carlin, following Levresen round the bend into the home straight, and Carlin is safely through to the quarterfinals, John.
Thank you, Ali. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. And still we wait for the opening goal. I can tell you that Dundee United have taken the lead at Ross County. It's Ross County 0, Dundee United 1. We'll have more from Ian Carter on the climax of the women's golf, with Lydia Ko closing in on the gold medal. All of the athletics tonight here on 5 Live with Kelly Cates from the Stade de France at 6 o'clock. But we might yet have a penalty shootout to decide this. Manchester City have hit a post. Manchester United have now hit a post. City playing the ball forward. Savinho, here he is down the left, but he's in an offside position against Pellistri, and it's a free kick to Manchester United. Dion, Dublin, we have less than 15 minutes to play.
Yeah, I think I'm just looking back to that Marcus Rashford chance. You know, when you're in that position and the defender can't mark you, he can't go to the ball, what you do is you make your mind up before the ball comes to you. You know what kind of pass you're going to get. Marcus, I think, was still thinking about what finish he was going to use. Be natural, Marcus, be yourself, and you score that.
And back to the Olympic golf and Ian Carter.
And taking the drama right out of it, Lydia Ko playing a 3-shot strategy. She's just played a lovely little wedge over the water onto the green, and she's got 2 putts from 5 feet to secure Olympic gold.
Here's Garnacho for Manchester United, scored in the FA Cup final. Left foot shot now from central. It's blocked, hits a defender, which took it away from goal, but behind for a corner to Manchester United in front of the half of Wembley Stadium, where all of their supporters are gathered. Many of them now on their feet, hoping here that this might see the new season start for Manchester United like the old one ended, with victory over their old rivals, their city rivals, here at the National Stadium. Corner to be taken from the left-hand side. Bruno Fernandes comes over. Rashford, who was thinking about taking it, actually disappears to the far side of the box. Bruno Fernandes looks for Rashford, who heads it down across goal and wide. I think comfortably wide. It's the wrong angle for us. There were a whole crowd of players in there. I don't think that there was ever a moment that it threatened Ederson's goal. But nevertheless, actually McTominay was in a central position, might have got a touch on that.
Scott McTominay is literally 4 or 5 yards out, and Marcus's header from the far post, it bounces literally on the 6-yard line-ish. Scott McTominay is onside and he just misses his kick. misses his kick 6 yards out on the volley, just needs to connect, hands on his head.
Bernardo Silva takes the place of James McAtee, the birthday boy, 30 years old today, still 0-0 here at Wembley. Back to the Olympic Velodrome, Alistair.
Hamish Turnbull's turn in the men's Keirin first round. Jack Carlin safely through. 6 riders on the track again. The motorbike is building the pace. Victoria Pendleton, you were just saying in that last heat, Jack Carlin got that lovely draw of lane 2, and lo and behold, heat 3, Hamish Turnbull gets lane 2.
I know, it's very, very fortunate. It's honestly the number you hope to turn over when you choose your position at the beginning of the race, because it means you don't have to commit to the bike. It means you can leave a bit of a gap and lay off the bike and control the riders behind you.
Look out for the speed of the Australian Matthew Richardson. Now, he is right on the back wheel of the motorbike. We saw him take silver in the individual sprint yesterday, and at the moment, Hamish Turnbull comfortably in second. This motorbike building the pace from 30 kilometres an hour to 50 kilometres an hour, and sometimes now in the back straight, Victoria, the bike is about to leave the track. The riders will start to make their moves.
They start to give themselves a little bit of space to run into, to open up the group a bit, to look at each other.
John Spieth, the South African, he's made a move, and Hamish Turnbull from Morpeth has stuck right with him, and he's right on the inside at the front of the group of riders here. Pace is building quickly. We've still got a couple of laps to go. Victoria.
He's just trying to hold people off on the hip and take the shortest line to the track, but it's a bit risky because he could get boxed in now.
Right, Hamish Turnbull, spot of bother in amongst the riders here. Bunch, lap and a half to go, heading into the bend towards the home straight. He's 5th of 6 at the moment. He's got to try and find some room here, Hamish Turnbull. 4th of 6, and now needs some pace in the back straight. Turnbull with work to do. If he doesn't finish in the top 2, he does have a chance of coming through the repechage. I don't think he's going to make it like Jack Carlin did. He's not. He eases off the gas in the home straight, and Hamish Turnbull, if he wants to get to the quarterfinals, will have to come through the repechage.
And they might just be about to repeat what they did in the FA Cup final at the end of last season. Manchester United have taken the lead through Alejandro Garnacho, and the United fans inside Wembley are on their feet. Marcus Rashford goes to him, Rashford, who missed that big chance just a few moments ago, and says, well done, young man, and thank you very much as well. And Manchester United lead Manchester City 1-0.
It's a really good goal, you know, very positive from Garnacho. He knows what he wants to do. He goes on his right foot, comes inside, he goes across the box. No City player comes out. He keeps going. He makes the angle even better. He gets to the middle of the goal and he puts it in the corner. Ederson's bottom left. He runs all the way over to the fans on the far side, as if to say, I think the manager should have put me on earlier.
Great celebrations. Lovely left foot finish. Just tucked it away from just inside the penalty area and then wheeled away to celebrate. Manchester United 1-0 up and on course to win the Community Shield. Who's going to win the gold in the golf, Ian Carter?
It's Lydia Ko. She rolls in the birdie putt. She's done it by 2 shots. A brilliant performance. She has gone round in a 1 under par 71 to complete the set of Olympic medals. Silver in Rio, bronze in Tokyo. It's gold in Paris for Lydia Ko. She wins at 10 under par. Esther Henseleit of Germany takes silver at 8 under par, and Janet Lin of China at 7 under par takes bronze. Just for the record, the British pair, Charlie Hull finished in 27th place, Georgia Hall finished in 36th, but this is all about Lydia Ko, and a golden moment for her, and one that takes her into the LPGA's Hall of Fame as well. A huge moment for her. She's the Olympic champion in Paris.
Thank you, Ian. It's been a real hit, the Olympic golf at the Golf National. 1-0 Manchester United lead. That goal in the 82nd minute, so Manchester United now just really 6 or 7 minutes away from making a Wembley double over the course of these few months, at the end of last season and the start of this, over Manchester City. I mean that City will have lost in the Community Shield for a 4th year in a row. What's the latest in the Super League? Sharon Shortle.
Well, in a half that's been dominated by Leeds Rhinos, Wigan finally got off the mark with Liam Marshall squeezing in at the corner. No goal, so no conversion. We've got 2 minutes remaining. It's Leeds Rhinos 24, Wigan Warriors 4.
In League 2, Gillingham 3, Carlisle 1 is now the latest score. In fact, as Manchester City attack, trying to respond now to the Manchester United opening goal. as free kick is won by City on the far side. The latest scores in League Two: Wimbledon 4-2 up on Colchester. It's Barrow 1, Crewe 0. Crewe lost in the playoff final last season, and there's been a coming together on the far side. Dion, Garnacho, has he been nudged off the pitch over there?
Yeah.
By Bernardo Silva, was it? And he's gone down clutching his knee, and there's a yellow card coming out for one of the Manchester City players. I think he's okay. It was Bernardo Silva, wasn't it, who nudged him to him?
So late as well, to be fair. Garnacho just playing the ball back to his keeper, and Bernardo Silva literally a second or two later going straight through. Garnacho, knee into the thigh, kicking out. Bit petulant.
Yeah, free kick to Manchester City. To continue through the scores, Barrow leading 1-0 against Crewe. Stephen Clemence's Barrow as it is now. Cheltenham 2, Newport 2, Doncaster 3, Accrington 1 as I mentioned. Fleetwood 1, Grimsby 0, Gillingham 3, Carlisle 1, Harrogate Town 0, Bromley 2 on their way to their first win in their opening match in the Football League. MK Dons 1, Bradford City 2, Salford 0, Port Vale 2, Tranmere 0, Notts County 0, Walsall 1, Morecambe 0. Manchester City in possession, but it is Scott McTominay who just takes it away from Kovacic, and the ball runs away, but there's a ball just off the pitch. Throw-in taken for City, down into the full-back position. The crowd 78,146 here, which, as I said at the outset, bearing in mind it's the third time in 15 months that we've had a Manchester derby at Wembley, and this being a Community Shield, that is some turnout. Rangers still leading 2-1 against Motherwell. Dessers and Cherney with the Rangers goals, and it remains Ross County 0, Dundee United 1. Mark Chapman will round it all up for you and reflect on the earlier games in the Championship, as well as build up to the evening Olympics coverage. We'll have Carabao Cup coverage Tuesday and Wednesday night, commentary on Leeds Middlesbrough on Wednesday, and then the Premier League begins on Friday night, and more commentaries than anywhere else on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. 1-0 low to Manchester United, and it was rather like a golden moment, wasn't it, for Alejandro Garnacho, the way that he brought the ball in from the right-hand side, just kept going, and then an excellent finish.
Yeah, he can do it from both sides as well. He can come in off the left or in off the right, not a problem at all. He just wasn't closed down, and he just kept finding the better angle, and the more he came into the box, the less pressure he was under. I'll take the shot.
City play it forward, but Rico Lewis can't reach that before it bounced over the white line and out of play for a throw into Manchester United, who are now United, just a few minutes away from adding the Community Shield to the FA Cup that they won last season under Eric Ten Hag, and the Carabao Cup that they won the season before. Pre-season friendly Community Shield. They'll be counting this. It's a win against Manchester City in a showpiece, dare I say it, curtain raiser match at Wembley Stadium. Here's Collier, young Collier, playing it back to Evans. Evans across to Pellistri, the young Uruguayan. Now out to Garnacho, the man who might have scored the winning goal. What a double for him as well, Garnacho, to have scored the opening goal in the FA Cup final, now the opening goal in the Community Shield. He's a teenager, no longer 20 years old now, Alejandro Garnacho, but it just underlines again what a talent that he is. Here is Savinho playing the ball infield for Manchester City. Akanji threads it to Lewis, and beyond Sancho, who's come on for Rashford incidentally. Jadon Sancho back in the Manchester United fold now. Ball with City on the right hand side. Savinho's come all the way across here to the right, and then Bob with a cross to the back post, and it's headed in by Bernardo Silva. Under pressure from Pellistri, but little Bernardo Silva on his birthday, the 30-year-old today, makes it 1-1 and rescues the situation for Pep Guardiola and City. Manchester United 1, Manchester City 1.
Yeah, Bob and Rico Lewis down the right-hand side, just combining with some really nice interplay, into out, getting just into a crossing position there. Didn't try and find anybody, left it in an area. Bernardo Silva leaves his run very late, comes across Pellistri's eye line. Pellistri doesn't know he's there. Great header from the little man at the far post. I've got to say, I did say City would score.
And so they have. Set up by Lewis and Bob on the right-hand side. And then the cross from the Norwegian And you don't see Bernardo Silva winning too many brave back post headers, but he did that very well against Pellistri, who was struggling, stretching to get to it with his head and adjusting his body and heading it in. Manchester City were behind for 7 minutes, I make it, before the equaliser from Bernardo Silva, and with it looking like penalties, Pep Guardiola's reaction there was to run up the stairs and say to Kevin De Bruyne, I need you on if this is going to be a penalty shootout, and that's what's happening now. Guardiola makes way. Kevin De Bruyne, huge cheer from the City fans for their great favourite, and Nathan Ake as well is coming on, and we've got 5 minutes of added time. So a double change there with Ake and De Bruyne coming on. I can understand City taking very great care with Kevin De Bruyne, who's now 33 years old. There's talk of him heading off to Saudi. I hope he doesn't, I have to say, just because I just enjoy watching him play so much.
What a player. Been great for City, great for the Premier League, great to watch. I think the problem they've got now, Manchester United, even though there's such little time left, is that De Bruyne comes on, Haaland comes alive.
Yeah, that's a great point. 1-1 it is. Manchester United, their supporters thought they were on the way to victory, but not so. Bernardo Silva scoring with a header on his 30th birthday. United coming forward, Garnacho with a cross right across the penalty area. Bruno Fernandes chases that out into the full-back position, so we're into added time. Again, just to repeat it, as Bruno Fernandes plays the ball into the box, but aimlessly really. It just hits Akanji and then is played forward by Mateus Nunes. De Bruyne makes the run. It bounces back to Savinho. He gives it back to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne now drifting out towards the left-hand side, and then Pellistri is able to tackle it out for a throw down the left. Yeah, if you've just joined us on 5 Live, Community Shield, we'll have all of the full-time scores coming to you, but this will be a penalty shootout if it finishes 1-1 in a few minutes' time.
Yeah, and De Bruyne just coming on now. I mean, the first couple of touches he's had, just let me get the ball to Haaland. Haaland's now on the shoulders of the two centre-halves, and he's not moved.
Here is Kevin De Bruyne. He's in space here. That's dangerous. Tried to give it to Haaland, but Johnny Evans was able to step into the right place. Ball forward for Garnacho, but Nathan Ake just allows the ball to drop over his shoulder and take it out towards the far side, although Garnacho's not giving this up. And it's and that challenge actually bounces out of play off the Manchester City man. So it is a throw-in, which was given by the assistant on the far side, Nick Greenhalgh. So a throw-in to Manchester United, halfway inside the Manchester City half. It looks likely that this will be decided by a penalty shootout for the second consecutive year in the Community Shield. But Manchester United will have clearly, certainly, not given up hope of perhaps getting a winner. Free kick. Bruno Fernandes plays it into the near post, but doesn't beat the first defender. Kovacic is just able to lean forward and head it away towards the halfway line. We've got 2.5 minutes, less than 2.5 minutes to go, Dion. And Nana with a long pass over the top of Sancho. There's been talk that he might be off as well. Paris Saint-Germain being mentioned, but he did play a significant part pre-season. What do you think the right thing is to do for him, Sancho?
You know, I like him. I think he's got so much talent. It's just about getting his head down and just giving him games. I think the talent's all there to see, but he just needs to play. I don't think he's the kind of player that can come off the bench and make as much impact as if he starts games. Give him the chance to play a few games. Let's see what he looks like.
Yeah, played his last game of last season here at Wembley Stadium, remember, for Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League final. And here he is now back in the red of Manchester United. Late goals in League Two, Gillingham 4 now, Carlisle 1. And Doncaster Rovers also 4-1 up on Accrington. Billy Sharp with that goal for Doncaster. In the 4th minute of added time. Penalties approaching. Kovacic, does well there to just nick it away from Casemiro and then takes it on, the Croatian. Gives it out to Savinho on the left-hand side. Savinho, he's got Mateus Nunes there with him. Left foot, square towards Kovacic, 30 yards out, square again. Rico Lewis is on the ball. They wanted him to shoot, gives it to De Bruyne to the right. De Bruyne's ball in is
right into the path of a Nana, and the Manchester United goalkeeper can just drop on it. I thought for a moment it was going to be one of those De Bruyne balls into just the right place, but no.
Yeah, I just believe if Kevin De Bruyne had been on the pitch about 10-15 minutes longer, that ball would have been exactly the one you described, John, with a bit more pace and curl away from Onana. On that occasion, he's just warming up into those passes.
I think that is going to be just about it. Or maybe there's time for one final attack. Rico Lewis volleys the ball forward for Manchester City, but then De Bruyne arrives. Manchester United can't get it back on the halfway line. I make it 15 seconds of the 5 minutes of added time still to be played, as Diaz goes back rather than forward to Ederson. Now Akanji picks out the pass to Rico Lewis, still inside the Manchester City half. Still we play on. Haaland is De Bruyne is beaten to it by Martinez on the halfway line, and there is the final whistle. Erik ten Hag and Pep Guardiola both step forward onto the pitch and applause. They'll be speaking to their players about the plans for the penalty shootout imminently. United thought they'd won it. Dion through Garnacho's goal in the 82nd minute, but Bernardo Silva's brave header made it 1-1, and we will have a penalty shootout to decide the Community Shield.
Yeah, I just believe that City will always, or were always going to get that other chance. They'll just go into another gear, City, when they feel threatened and they can't get what they want. They seem to find a way. Bernardo Silva, far post, leave it up there for me, he said. There he is, gets his team level. Now we are level peggings again.
So penalty shootout to follow, but the Community Shield ends. Manchester United 1, Manchester City 1.
Here in Paris, 15th day of the Olympics, penultimate day. Bronze for Britain. Noah Williams in the 10-metre platform, having qualified in 12th for the final, so that is some effort. And Caden Cunningham will go for gold later on. After 8 o'clock this evening UK time, he will go for gold in the taekwondo. Lydia Ko has just taken gold in the women's golf. It's got some big events still to come, including the USA against France in the final of the men's basketball. We'll give you all the full times in the football as well. We've got the penalty shootout to come from Wembley into League Two. We're with the new boys Bromley this afternoon. They're at Harrogate. Adam Cottier.
And it really has been an impressive initiation for Bromley this afternoon. They lead 2-0. We're in stoppage time. Both goals in the second half. The first from Michael Cheek, who was their top scorer last season, diverting in an Idris Odatayo shot from outside the box. And then Kamal Grant headed in a corner from the left-hand side to double their lead soon after. They are richly deserving of this. And it's a fine start for Andy Woodman and Bromley as we near full time. It's Harrogate Town 0, Bromley 2.
There are 8 games in the Championship today. They're all at lunchtime, so these are full times. Cardiff 0, Sunderland 2, Hull 1, Bristol City 1, Leeds 3, Portsmouth 3. That was a cracker at Ellen Road. Middlesbrough 1, Swansea 0, Millwall 2, Watford 3. Big win for Oxford on their return to the second tier. They beat Norwich by 2-0. QPR West Brom 3, and Stoke are up and running. They beat Coventry by 1-0. Into the Scottish Premiership, Gavin Wallace watching Rangers Motherwell.
It has just gone full time. Rangers 2, Motherwell 1. Mark Cyril Dessers opening his account for the season on 12 minutes from close range. It was a great ball in from Ridvan Yilmaz. The ball back over from the head of Diomande, and Dessers is there to tap, hoping. Robin Proper, though, not with the start he wanted in his Rangers career, on 16, got things all wrong from a Steve Seddon cross and tapped it beyond Jack Butland in goal, and then just not long later, Vlakov Cherny on 24 cut inside, and it was a fantastic goal from just outside the box with his left foot into the bottom right hand corner. The second half came and went with not a lot of chances, but the last 15 minutes were all Motherwell or so. They had a couple of chances but just couldn't get that goal. Full time at Hampden. Rangers 2, Motherwell 1.
Ross County 1, Dundee 1 is how it finished in the Scottish Premiership. Dundee United 1 is how it finished in the Scottish Premiership. Dundee and Hearts go later on. Also in Scotland, Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 2, Morton 0, Hamilton 0, and Wraith beat Partick Thistle by 1-0. In Scottish League 1, Annan 1, Inverness 0, Arbroath 0, Montrose 0, Dumbarton 3, Alloa 3, Kelty Hearts 2, Stenhousemuir 0, Queen of the South 2, Cove Rangers 1. And in League 2 in Scotland, Clyde 1, Stranraer 0, East Fife 2, Edinburgh City 0, Peterhead 2, Forfar 1, Spartans 2, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, and Stirling 0, Elgin 1. Some games still going on in League 2 and in the National League in England, so we'll wait for all the full-time whistles to go, and then I'll bring you all of those results after the shootout at Wembley. John Murray.
Yep, to decide the 2024 FA Community Shield. 1-1 between Manchester United and Manchester City after 90 minutes and 5 minutes more. And it's the Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes placing the ball on the spot to take the first penalty kick against Ederson. Right-footed, sends Ederson the wrong way, diving down to his right. Just stroked it into the bottom corner, Dion Dublin.
Yeah, no panic, no messing about, 2 or 3 steps, and then he just places it into the corner. Not an awful lot of power, but very, very confident. No skip needed on that occasion.
No Bruno bounce this time.
Absolutely.
But it's Bernardo Silva who now walks forward, having scored the goal that rescued the situation for Manchester City. Remember his penalty against Real Madrid last season in the Champions League, the little dink down the middle that didn't work. Well, Onana will be thinking of that. He turns, he puts his hands up to the crossbar. Bernardo Silva with the left-footed penalty for Manchester City. Here he comes, and it's saved by Onana, diving down to his left. He got to it actually with both palms, full-length dive, pushed it away, and Manchester United still lead 1-0.
Yeah, awful penalty from Silva. I mean, I'm expecting him to put this in the corner with confidence. It's a really slow run-up. He's taking 2 steps. And when you take very little steps, you can't get much power. Really poor penalty, that is. Easy for Onana.
So at that end, it's the same end where Onana made the crucial save against, remember, Callum O'Hare in the FA Cup semi-final last season, and he starts Onana with the penalty save. It's Diogo Dalot with the second penalty for Manchester United. Quite a direct run-up. He's standing on the edge of the area, skips to his left, little steps now, right-footed, and Ederson dived the right way, got his hands to it, but couldn't keep it out, and it's 2-0 Manchester United.
Yeah, power this time. I think with Dalot, you don't know if he's going to go left foot or right foot, because you can play and take penalties with both feet. He goes right foot, he goes across his body. Ederson's right-hand side, but it's enough power to take it past the save.
Well, Kevin De Bruyne now, the vastly experienced, highly skilled, great entertainer that he is. He walks almost into the cauldron now, because the penalties are being taken at the Manchester United end. So 3 tiers of Manchester United supporters in red and white and black that he is walking directly towards. Manchester United leading 2-0. Kevin De Bruyne, short run up, right-footed, strokes it and sends Onana the wrong way, the ball in the back of the net. And it's 2-1 Manchester United.
Yeah, no nonsense from Kevin De Bruyne. Knew exactly what he was going to do. He just rolled it into Onana's left-hand side on the floor. The ball didn't leave the grass. Nice side foot in the corner. Keeper no chance.
Manchester City 2-1 down now. Now it's Alejandro Garnacho, the Argentine, who opened the scoring after coming on as a substitute. Referee Gillett just rolls the ball to him. He flicks it up, leans forward. This is the same goal into which he scored with his left foot, but this is a right-footed penalty from the young Argentine. Short run up, little steps, and then drives it inside the left post as he looks at it. Ederson diving the other way, so 3-1 Manchester United.
Yeah, scores a goal with his left, scores a penalty with his right, goes across his body again. Nice bit of power, nice bit of confidence there. Good penalty, Garnacho.
Well, it's the big man now, the top scorer of the last 2 seasons, Erling Haaland, who's had a quiet day. It must be said, he hasn't had a chance. He actually didn't have a chance in the match, and has still not scored at Wembley Stadium.
Didn't get much of the ball, did he, really?
No, he didn't. So Erling Haaland with the score 3-1 in the shootout. Manchester United have scored all 3 of their penalties, going first. This, if you've just switched on, the penalty shootout between the Manchester clubs to decide the Community Shield. We'll round up all of the rest of the afternoon scores once this is done, once we see whether it is going to be Manchester United or City celebrating again inside Wembley Stadium. He's waiting a long time, Haaland, and Onana, I think, is pointing to his wrist, and he's actually taken up a position to the right centre, but Haaland tucks it away. Onana goes the wrong way. Haaland wins that duel, and it's 3-2 United.
Yeah, literally the opposite to what Kevin De Bruyne had just done. Kevin De Bruyne slots it on the floor to Onana's left with his right foot. Left foot from Haaland that time, Onana's right. Very, very confident penalties.
Did I see right there? Did he tap on it? Yeah, he did. He was pointing to Haaland which way to take it. And Haaland actually just said, yeah, I'll do my own thing, and took it the other way. That's right, this is a big one. Jadon Sancho, remember the history that he's got at that end here at Wembley Stadium. Missed his penalty in the Euro final. Jadon Sancho, short run up. Oh, Ederson gets a hand to it, pushes it onto the post, and somehow it stays out. Saved onto a post by Ederson. That was quite a save. Leaping to his left, got his top hand to it. And I'm not sure quite how that didn't bounce in off a post, but it stayed out.
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought that was a very well-connected penalty to Ederson's left, but it's got a strong right arm on that. Does what he can, pushes it onto the post, and it stays out. Yeah, he stays out. Strong right wrist from Ederson. What a save.
That's a super save. And it almost defied the laws of physics not to end up in the back of the net. So this to level things up, and it's Savinho, the new signing, the young Brazilian, left-footed from an angle, little steps now, and he buries that low into the bottom corner with Onana diving the wrong way, and that makes it 3-3.
Yeah, that's really nicely put into the corner. Onana goes to his left, he puts it to his right. Strong penalty, hits the side netting. No keeper's going to save that from the new man.
Well, if that's an indication of what Savio Moreira de Oliveira's got in his locker, he's a cool customer.
Yeah, no problem at all for him there.
Well, from young Brazilian to vastly experienced Brazilian, Casemiro still going. He hasn't left for pastures new just yet. And Casemiro now, he's been down this road so many times. Casemiro very, very coolly also just strokes it away with Ederson going the wrong way down to his right. That makes it 4-3 Manchester United, and that means Manchester City have to score the next one.
Yeah, Casemiro there just strolled up to the ball like he was on a walk in the park. No pressure at all. He's done it so many times.
Oh, Dion, no one's stepping forward in a sky blue shirt, because the goalkeeper Ederson, that brilliant striker of a dead ball, Ederson, the goalkeeper for Manchester City, is going to take the 5th penalty. Up he comes, left-footed, and very coolly, he doesn't drive it, he dinks it with Onana, his opposite number, going the wrong way. He'll be spitting about that, Onana being beaten by the other goalkeeper in that fashion. Wow. That's 4-4.
Wow, that's probably one of the best penalties. A little bit of a fake as he gets towards the ball, Ederson, and Onana commits, and the keeper just strolls into the other. Oh, it's a great penalty. What a penalty from the keeper.
Well, that's got a real cheek about it, hasn't it? Right, McTominay now, we're into sudden death now. Sudden death. McTominay for Manchester United, whips it away right-footed, even though Ederson went the right way, couldn't keep that out. Well struck, great pace, and that is 5-4 Manchester United.
Yeah, that's all about power and confidence. Scott McTominay, 2 or 3 paces, and he puts his laces through it into the corner. Very good penalty, even though the keeper goes the right way.
It's another of the substitutes now, the Portuguese, Mateus Nunes, who ended up in the Portuguese squad at the Euros, having initially been left out. As we said, after a difficult first season, he'll be hoping that this season for Manchester City is going to be much better, and what a lift this would give him to play a part here and make sure that he extends the penalty shootout. If he misses, Manchester United win. Mateus Nunes on his right foot drives it high. One of the best penalties that we've seen. High above the dive of Onana to his right and in, and it's 5-5.
Yeah, keeper goes the right way, but I think it's one of the first penalties that we've seen that goes high in the goal, right into the top corner. That is a very, very confident penalty.
Well, Dion, we're now heading into the penalty takers who were not in the upper echelons of the list of choices, if I can put it that way. Lisandro Martinez now, the butcher himself. He's got a bit of spirit, we know that, don't we? He fancies the challenge. Little sturdy figure that he is. Ederson, I think, fancies his chances on the line. Martinez comes up, and with a really clever left-footed flick, sends the ball to the right as Ederson goes to his right, and it is 6-5 Manchester United.
Yeah, I mean, he goes to the ball with a bit of pace, and then he slows down just as he gets to the ball. Martinez, I mean, that is proper side netting. He's only a yard away from the post. Very good penalty again.
It's Ruben Diaz now, the Manchester City captain on the day. Steps forward, looks very confident. A couple of bounces of the ball, basketball style. gets it down on the spot, right-footed, direct run-up, takes 4 steps back. Diaz now strokes it in. It almost bounces twice as it rolls into the back of the net, with Onana going the wrong way. That's 6-6.
That's from the centre half there, just really strolled up to the ball. And I mean, Onana goes quite early, so he makes his mind up for him. Diaz strokes it into the left-hand side of Onana's goal.
As I say, the tension is building. It might be the Community Shield, might be the final pre-season match, but this tension is actually building here, and it's Johnny Evans now, the veteran, the 36-year-old, signed on for another season at Manchester United. His great career, won the FA Cup here last season with United and with Leicester. And on his right foot, Johnny Evans prepares now to step up and sends it over the bar. And that means that Manchester City now know that if they score next, the Community Shield will be theirs.
There was no confidence in Johnny's run at all. I mean, it's an awful penalty from Johnny Evans. Love him as a centre-half, but that's really poor. Good 2 or 3 yards over the box, over the goal.
Dion, there's a great little bit of redemption coming up here. It's Manuel Akanji who has missed key penalties for Switzerland at the last 2 tournaments and seen his team go out. Not least, last time we saw him at the Euros, he was having his penalty saved by Jordan Pickford, Switzerland's first penalty. Now, with his next penalty, he's got a chance to win the Community Shield for Manchester City on his right foot, and he scores high down the middle under the crossbar. And Manchester City win the shootout 7-6, and Manuel Akanji is surrounded by his teammates. They know the story here. His penalty miss at the Euros in Germany proved so costly for Switzerland. Now he converts and wins the great shield, the Community Shield for Manchester City.
Not a bad penalty at all from Akanji, very confident, straight down the middle, roof of the net. I mean, all the players in sky blue running over to him and the keeper. They're bouncing about, they're in that huddle that they do, they're in that huddle, they're all together, they're bouncing up in unison. Great, it wasn't a bad game in the end, John, I've got to say. City just nicking it, it was a 50-50 chance. I feel for Johnny Evans,
But it's Manchester City's day, and there we are after the 1-1 draw. The goals late from United from Garnacho and Manchester City from Bernardo Silva, but that actually quite gripping penalty shootout won by Manuel Akanji. That's the story, and Manchester City, after losing the Community Shield in each of the last 3 seasons, win it here at Wembley in 2024, and the Premier League winners of last season have already added the Community Shield this season. There we are, 7-6, they won it in the penalty shootout.